What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki, or should I say, hello, YouTube? No, I'm kidding. All right, so sorry about the delay. Just a little busy, got up a little later, but I've got coffee. It'll be okay. Now, My Hero 355. We're doing 355 today. The closest thing to a spoiler I've gotten from this chapter was I think I saw a scared Endeavor image. And I saw someone say that the characters are learning that My Hero is about a lot more than going to school. But other than that, I've been pretty good at being safe. So glad about that. Gonna let everybody follow like I usually do. Always want to know how you guys have been. We're getting back on track with chapter reviews. You should be able to expect one within the next 24 hours for this chapter, even after we do this live reaction. I'm gonna hold myself to that today. Got y'all. Let's see. Cameron Bailey. Ooh, Simon 04. Okay. Tyler Hawk. What up? Hold up. Why is Tyler not a mod on this channel? Let me fix that. Tanisha Greer, what's up? Austin, Jalen Baxley, okay. Mr. Andrew, Tiger Blaster, and I can't believe you've done this. Okay. Hey, and Ponzu, all right. Ponzu, look, see, Tanisha already on it. Don't make the ghost of Ponzu past come after you. All right, let's see. What's gonna hop? You know what? I just clicked over on the Shonen Jump tab. That Aliens color page does. Maybe I'll read that. I'll read that one shot. Okay, good chapter. Yep. Everybody appreciating that chapter? Yep, you right. East is right. East was correct. Now, let's see. All right. Should I just dive into the chapter? Should I just do it? Uh-oh. This chapter got tarnished in shambles. Has it tarnished your view of the series? Okay, I'm sorry. That was terrible. I won't do that again. All right, let's see. I won't do that to you ever again, Tarnish. I can't promise that I won't ever laugh like that again, but I can promise I won't do y'all like that again. All right, let's see. Now, MHA, let's see, we got 27. Let's see. Yep, just go. All right. Yep, we doing it. It's break next week. Break next week. Wait, that's perfect. Oh my God. Look at Hori. I got to go to like 2 different graduations next week for little siblings. Look at Hori. Oh my. I don't know how he does it, man. I don't even been releasing my personal schedule. But if anybody got me, I know Hori got me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having a moment. All right. I'm in on the chapter. And we coming in hot with Endeavor falling straight to the ground. I was right, both arms. So it's definitely just a chunk out of his side that it was eaten. All right, so we got, are you hanging in there? Shoto. Toya. Oh, Toya, I hope you're both. Wow. See, I like this though, because this is Endeavor. Because my personal theory is that Shoto is not Endeavor's favorite. And my stance is that Toya was always Endeavor's favorite. And he regretted not knowing how to bond with his son outside of hero work and had no idea how to do this. Because based on what Toya said, he created this whole agency of fire users. So he didn't end up suspecting them. But that means that, like, as much as these past 10 years have been dedicated towards making Shoto a masterpiece, they've been dedicated to recovering Toya too. So that's just something that I keep in the back of my head whenever these characters are on screen. So, Endeavor, what's the matter with me? What am I doing? My anger at all for one is misplaced. Let's see. Told you them breaks be clutch. Yep. Next chapter out on Father's Day. I'm scared. Next chapter is Father's Day. Yep. We sure Endeavor didn't lose an arm. I mean, a hand. I mean, Endeavor needs some. He does need some milk. You right about that? Uh, I brought up all this upon myself. This fight, this wound, everything. And then we get Tokoyami and Hawks in the sky. He just barely managed to dodge and keep his lungs safe. I could tell from the sound of his breathing, which my feathers picked up on. He's still alive and kicking. We go forward with that assumption. Tsukuyomi. Enough, Hawks. What, you've got no place in this fight? Is that it? I was sent to this location as additional support. In the event of a stalemate between the top powers, isn't that right? Oh, so Tokoyami got respect put on his name. They took a little bit of respect and put it all over there. That boy's seasoned. They saw what that Ragnarok did against Redestro's mechanical legs and said, I want that. Questionable scaling on their part. Okay, so everybody inside the My Hero verse is slowly trying to turn into power scalers, and they hurt themselves for it. Yep. We sure Endeavor didn't lose. Yep. Endeavor needs to get his head back in the game. Pity party later. Get AFO not correct. No time to be feeling sad, G. All right. True, but the thinking was that we'd have Endeavor around. He'll slaughter you. Am I really that pathetic? See, okay, I like that Hawks is internally having these dialogues. What this also does is that I talked about how Hawks is basically all the Robins. Every single Robin has great leadership that exceeds that of the Batmans. When it's like push to shove, when it comes to the respect of their allies, when it comes to their actual being able to form a genuine friendship with them, when it comes to the ability to actually like see their potential and utilize them all correctly, all of the Robins end up outperforming Batman with their teams as far as their understanding and the bonds that they share with their comrades. So this is Hawk's chance to complete the Robin birthright and be a better leader than Endeavor was able to be on this battlefield. Whether or not that's going to happen, no promises. Of course, I can't be frittering away my time here, not when my other self could be in danger. That didn't finish off Endeavor, so as long as he still breathes, he'll stand back up, which means that during that phase, these heroes' goal will be, and we see him transform. All right, I think he's just reverting that arm, though. Buying time until he's on his feet now, harangued by this foul duo. What a nuisance. The weakest link in their chain at this point would be here. Whoa. What are those? Rivet stabs combined with the little face monster? Okay. Nice to see. Hawks. I ain't letting those kids. Okay, so let's see. It looks like Jiro got launched up in the air a little to avoid those, or at least Hawks. And then boom, another smack to the double feathers to the skull, followed up by katana slashes to the neck, keeping that pressure on his mask. You okay, Jiro? Yeah. Fly however you need to, Sokoyami. I'll back you up. Aim for his mask, crack it via sound waves, and win. And we win. Yeah, I showed up today ready for anything, or so I thought. I couldn't even see that coming. Even my response to that malice was delayed, every hair standing on end down. Midoriya, Aoyama, you're telling me this was the threat looming over you all along? Yo, I like the respect that Jiro is putting on this situation. One of the things that I talked about in the review that I released on Friday, so I know that was late, so all of you wouldn't have seen that, was how Jiro has always kind of been at that front line, and she was the one who pushed Kaminari to be able to fight when it was time to fight during USJ. She was encouraging him back during PLW, and now to see her finally understand like that fear that they already had in them, because Jiro's always kind of had that dog in her, but she ain't had that proper fear response. So her actually getting that brought in like to play here and finally getting to properly conceptualize the threat of the enemy is important, because even when you think about Gigantomachia, you could argue that she should have had that same fear get brought out by him, but they've already encountered these giant robots. So seeing Gigantomachia is like, whoa, this is like our entrance exam, but for real, this is on a different level. You got different creature constructs busting out of a dude's body, ready to rip you to pieces after you just watch the number one hero get taken down. Different context, finally really getting on you, because like even when fighting those other villains back at USJ, a lot of fodder, a lot of scrubs. And you could look at it as, hey, maybe we weren't ready because we're not pro heroes, even if you see somebody like taking some damage. But in this case, you know, it's because this is the real deal, no questions asked. So having shown up to this, like just another lesson at school, and then we get this huge monster cannon combined with a rivet stab. So basically, you can see that they're coming out of his back. So yeah, no, he's combining air cannon, rivet stab with the unnamed facial creature quirk, and I believe probably heavy load, payback load is in there too, like a diluted extra. Try this, Hawks. Too much sheer volume to possibly cope with, even with your limited feathers. You've been reduced to such an ordinary schlub. All right. You children just happen to be paired off with these big shots, yet you imagine yourself special somehow. Ooh. Worthy of facing the demon lord himself. Yo. First off, yeah, I'm seeing this right. You want to talk about being scared or strong or weak or special. And as this is happening, the left earphone that Jiro wears has been blown off along with her entire left ear and earlobe. Jiro is the first maiming in Class 1A. Well, I don't give a crap. And she's cutting back to Aoyama. You hear me? Screw all that. My problem is that you're the one that made my pals cry. Heartbeats around legato. And I'm assuming this is going to be going into like a system that pumps throughout her legs and arms, so that but more than likely maybe just the leg machines, hopefully firing both off. Motives, words, deeds, abilities. All I'm seeing here is the stuff of weaklings. Not nearly good enough. Your power is so very underwhelming. Oh, and then we see a couple people here grabbing onto him. The quirks I've stolen in the past, their very wills. Impossible. Even New Order didn't manage this. They were spurred on by this, by the weakness. Hawks of such pushovers. The first hit, then two, then three. Every time I've hit the exact same spot to keep that crack growing. Sound wave vibration enhanced. Enough cracks bring any dam down. Flight feather blade. Woo! And with that, we have a broken sword and a damaged mask of All for One. Let me get my bishops in here. Let me get my bishops. My word. This has been quite the event. My word. Hold on. All right. Where you at, Tarnish? I know you got to come in here. This is... So, what this vestige thing tells me is that I think this is going to kind of line up with the pregnancy speculation that I had with when One for All kind of got past the Deku, and how it basically took 9 months for all the 9 quirks or all the quirks to start manifesting properly. This probably means that we're on a little bit of a time or two, which is why that second quirk is taking so long. But to a certain degree, the further along we get, I think that the All for One vestiges are still at least somewhat connected, even if not fully. And what we're seeing here is like the ramifications of New Order activating, causing other quirks to like rebel, essentially connecting along that vestige, whatever, like this subspace within the vestige realm, since it seems to have some kind of like psychic connections. After all, even All for One has mentioned hearing the voice of his brother when we were having some of those Deku flashback chapters, or those flashbacks with Deku. So to me, this might be a part of the vestige realm finally paying off, that like there actually genuinely is a psychic subspace within all quirks that, depending on your proximity to it, or in what your quirk's abilities are, you become more and more aware of. It's kind of like, I guess, to borrow from Jujutsu Kaisen, remember how Mahito talked about how only people who could stop him had to understand the shape of a soul? It's kind of like that understanding the soul allows you to be protect yourself a bit better from attacks against it. And in that same way, by them slowly like having that awakening and that kind of being spread through, and more of these quirks, once that rebellion came into play and those different ones had to act up, it's kind of like reignited individuality within all the other personalities in the subspace. And they're slowly waking up one by one. And that's part of what's leading to this rebellion here. It's something that can actually reach them. But I believe that's Archbishop East in the call. Oh, we got Archbishop East, Bishop Ponzu, and Bishop
Let's
Sayers.
go!
Look who finally decided to show up, nigga. Damn.
All right.
I'm just good to be back.
French King up in this motherfucker. It took about long enough. Damn.
Hey. Bro.
You know, go ahead, give us a life update, man. Go ahead, keep niggas been missing you, man.
Oh, I've been missing y'all, man.
We didn't even actually, just so I know, we didn't even hear from Ponzo as long as y'all ain't hear from him. That nigga just popped up like last week. He was packing some heat and shit. I'm like, yo, he's gonna drop this on us and you make MIA, cuz.
So first thing first, let's say hello to Sayers.
Hello.
Guten Tag, Fräulein. How you doing?
No, I'm doing fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes, we can
Alright.
say yes.
Okay,
Your mic is way better too.
Perfect.
So
My image doesn't pop up, so I was a bit confused. Great.
Aniki, the boss.
Okay, so first off, what's been going on with both of your lives? Whichever one of you wants to go first. How you been? I care about you. The viewers care about you. We want to know where our bishops have been for like 6 months.
Say yes, you're the woman, so you can go first.
It hasn't been for 6 months. Come on. No, I've just been a bit visiting family and stuff, and then I kind of don't like joining these when I'm with family because obviously they have plans.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Trust me.
Yeah. And I missed the invite once or twice for whatever reason. I guess I had something with my phone, changed the notifications that I didn't get the ping. I don't know. In any case, now I'm back. Not much has changed in life so far. Yeah.
Ponzu?
From my side, a lot of things have changed. Like so I was working. I had 2 jobs, studying too. So most of the time I had to take shift on Sundays. That's why most of the time I had to start from 6, and I couldn't be there on the stream because you start streaming at 6 p.m. here for me. So then I'm working on my webtoon right now with my artist, Said Alich. He's the one drawing it, and I'm the one writing it. So right now you're really on a good pace, working on the first arc. He finished drawing the first 3 chapters. He's right now inking the last one, and helping with coloring, writing the bubbles too. So yeah. Next to this, also I'm now manager of the DJ, also my own artist too. I will be manager next year of the Erasmus Student Network here in my city as a partnerships manager. It's a volunteer job, but it's good for my experience. So yeah, trying to get some skills for my future, for my goals. It's been hard because I wanted to be. Sometimes I was thinking to myself, damn, I'm not that much more anymore on Discord. I just read the comments sometimes. Just the feed. I just read it. Just to see, and I miss just all your energy. And yeah, so I will try to combine now with this exam, so I have to study, but I will be more and more inclined, have more time because I have to focus to my studies, for my exam, to have to make my pauses to come on stream. And yeah, I will be in Canada this month too.
Wait, you'll be in Canada?
Yeah, in Montreal.
The
How long
hell?
are you? Wait. How long are you going to be in Canada?
That's the thing about like for 3 days maybe.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
We'll
Damn.
try to. I will try to
She
do
that
the.
bad?
No, whoa! It's not for a girl. It's my aunt. It's my aunt. She getting her diploma. She finished her master's in uh letters and philosophy. So she asked someone to be there for for from her family. And my mother, because she is in a situation with her accident that she had, I will be the one representing my mother and my grandpa too. So yeah. So yeah, it's good. So I will be there. I will try to postpone my stay there for 2, 3 days more if I can do it, because I really want to. 3 days in Canada is just ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's
See, I was
it's just
asking because my home state is actually on the border of Canada.
oh. I would have for sure. I would have just go there to see you. You know.
That's why I was like, wait.
Yeah, because I know I will be. I come into Montreal, and from Montreal I will take a bus to her place. But I know that if she gonna help me, if I have a little bit money on the side, I can postpone for 1 week or two. Because my last exam is the 1st July, so I have to come back around the 27th. I have to come back here in Belgium, but from the 16th, I'm quitting France. I go from Belgium, taking a bus to Paris. Paris, I take the flight to Montreal. So yeah, I really want to. If I can see some fans or just seeing, like, I know that you're from the north, so from the north, so northeast. So I really wanted to have a chance to meet y'all. So yeah, uh, yeah, I've been doing good and trying to talking back to my Hero Academia. I don't know what Horikoshi is going right now, and it is really kind of frustrating because most of the time I know where an author is going, what he's doing. You feel that, and when you read the feed on Twitter and everything, you can feel where the author is going with his story. Horikoshi, right now, it's I will say chaotic because we're also in a war too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So it
no,
can
this
go.
is a lot is happening.
Yeah, a
He's
lot is
being
happening.
very he's being very nice, actually. Like a lot of authors, when they have more arcs, will be like, so let's just hit all 4 locations every single chapter, except for when I'm
Yes.
gonna wrap
Yeah.
something up. And it's like,
It's
please
actually
no.
pretty. It's
Yeah.
actually not that chaotic, but it is a bit. I
You
would
know,
almost say anticlimactic in the sense that it seems to
yes,
just solve one issue after the other. Like this fight seems to. Last week we learned that we need to destroy the mask, and now
yes,
we basically destroy the mask. It
yes.
goes so
So
quick.
y'all really
And,
selling. So y'all really selling this short. That's
and I
funny.
don't like.
No,
That's
I
the
did
problem.
like the chapter. I just think that with
I
how
like. I like the chapter. It's just like it's scary because it feels like the feel of uneasiness of. I think that something is not. It's not. It's going too smooth. You know what I
That's
mean?
that's the point of it all. The
That's
heroes are
why.
they hear everything. This is one-on-one basics. If everything going somebody's way at the start,
Yes.
you know that it's not going to keep continuing like that. The fact that they
Yes.
broke his mask here just shows you what's really going to go down. What do you think happens when you play a video game, an RPG, like let's say Kingdom Hearts, and then you hit the boss and he go into critical mode? What do you
Yes.
think happens then?
Yeah. Well,
He
you go
finna,
to.
and now that all, and I'm also send the link to Fish Mess because I wanted to get he was talking about something,
I
but
already sent Fish the link.
okay. So Fish, you heard make your ass in here. So
Yeah,
what?
Fish, you better get up in here.
Yeah. So what do y'all think happens when now he actually starts to turn up or he gets a real serious? Hawks has no blades. Endeavor on the ground,
No
wheezing out of
feathers.
breath. He just broke his blade. So the Endeavor on the ground going through his moral dilemma. Jiro used her last attack that she had with her one ear, given everything she had. That was her final stretch. She ain't gonna be shooting out air beams like that, sound waves like that no more. So Who the fuck do we have left? All for one, definitely not. All for one, not
still sing.
All for one, not over here wheezing like, like I don't like. People really think he going down right here with this group. This like he's not some one beat new PLF advisor.
Wait,
like
page 12. Does that woman's face bother you even a little?
Is that the one with the vestiges?
Yes.
Yes.
that's what somebody in conversation was talking about.
I was thinking that we know her from somewhere. First time I saw this picture. Maybe I
Yeah,
could
She's
look.
like white eyelashes, isn't she?
Do you remember who does she look like to you?
She looked like the mother for Shigaraki. Like
Okay, I'm not the only one seeing it.
yeah.
I'm not the
That's what I was thinking, but I thought to myself, she's not the. But her mother has brown hair, no?
I mean, do you have to get your proper hair color in the vestige world? We don't know.
But she also
yeah.
has these white eyelashes.
Yes.
But the thing is, Shigaraki's hair turned white later, so.
And then she died.
This be genetic?
And since they are specifically drawn in a more like wispy looking fashion, I don't know.
And we got the
like
Oni over there. We got the Oni over there.
So, yeah. Oh no! Thomas. I didn't think that was Aries' mom.
Yo, Fistmax, what you typing for? You need to be
well, Aries' mom. That's true.
You need to be speaking, Fistmax. I don't know what you typing for.
Yeah, what you typing for, Fish? You all up in here.
What's popping?
Yo, Fish.
Good, Pazu. What's good, Sayas? How we doing?
Oh, good. I think it's the first time that I'm hearing you, though.
Yeah, bro.
Really?
I've been on here a couple times. I don't know where you've been in Ponzu.
You know, bitches. Work.
Oh,
wow.
This man at the start of the show. Yeah, I've just been working and da-da-da-da-da. Fish come on. So yeah, I was getting these bitches. All right.
The difference when you talking to your some girls, the difference between talking to your homies and the girls you trying to put on airs.
I know, I was just joking. So yeah, we need to perform over here. We need to get our dreams real. We have to make our dreams reality.
All right, Fish, go ahead and speak so we can get this one out the way.
Let's go.
Because I already know what you got to say, because we got to talk about this.
The Jiro stuff?
Speak your mind, period.
All right, so look. My thing with the Jiro stuff, when I first saw it, I honestly thought when I read the spoilers and I actually read the chapter that came out through TCB, and then I reread it right now today. But when I first read it those two times, like the spoilers in the TCB version, I thought it was like something to do with New Order.
Oh yeah, by the way, scans and leaks virtually fuck that shit up.
Yeah, that you really have to wait till the chapter comes out and just read it. I feel the same about One Piece. Sometimes you just got to read the official, like for a lot of these things. But like TCB does a good job. I don't want to discredit them, but a lot of times you just got to go off the official to get the clearest understanding of what's going on. So when I saw it, I thought it was New Order, and I hadn't really been seeing any tweets or anything about it. I saw Pineapple talking about it right now, and he thought it like the whole New Order thing. What confused me was I thought it happened to Shigaraki. It wouldn't be affecting AFO. So then when I was looking at this chapter more so, and I'm seeing it's Jiro's doing, I'm like, what is Jiro exactly doing? I don't understand how she's awakening or making. I just didn't feel like it was needed, in my opinion, to see like these not to say it doesn't make sense, but just seeing Jiro being able to do this and having these quirks grabbing on All for One now, and he's like, he's kind of confused at what's going on. Didn't he even kind of think it was New Order? Like he thought it was kind of like Star and Stripe a little bit, or
nah, he was more so like,
no,
Cassie wasn't even capable of doing this.
Yeah, he was like, wait, they finally getting more active. Like, what is this?
I know, and I can explain why. And I can explain why later.
I'm worried why he's so smiling. Why he finds this like he's like it's a success that they suddenly get more active.
Because that nigga only stopped smiling like one time.
I know he always smiles, but he stopped smiling when he was stopped initially because I guess that was a surprise. But then he smiled again, which makes me wonder if this particular smile is like triumph or something.
No, it's just he just finds it interesting is all. It's amusing to him because he still sees these niggas as weak bugs to him. Even now, he gonna talk shit when he come back. He be like, that was impressive. You did man through this, but now it's time for me to turn up. Like a nigga back still not against the wall as of yet.
The thing about it is more like I think that and I think maybe why they reacted like this is because the quirk of Gio is based on her heartbeat. You know what I mean? And she transmitted to them. Maybe it's all about. I don't know if Horikoshi is into that about vibrations and stuff. You know, or people vibrate stuff. Because he's talk about when you talk about mind space, rhythm and vibes, it's all connected. So that's why they reacted to her heartbeat because she was sending a message of hope.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You finish up because
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, nah. See, look, this is what y'all talking about fairy tale explanation. This is that bullshit y'all on right now. It's a literal. It's a literal. How niggas think the speech just inspired them to stand up, nigga? That he already said. We are like this. Like this is why y'all be needing to reread and remember what quirks are. They've already explained that quirks have a consciousness of their own and they will. Yeah. You think this is weird or like something out of the blue? Nigga, that dude got fucking ghosts talking in his head that pull him into a spiritual realm where they speak and chat with this nigga. Like where he accesses their crime. That literally exists. In the sports stuff. Like if I want to go all the way back, bro, since the sports festival, that something awakened in the vestiges in order to stop Shinso doing his thing. They are actual spirits that have consciousness. Those quirks, we already seen like when quirks revolt against New Order, they have a consciousness. They can act. He said these are the people's quirks I stole.
Yes,
they are literally, and they have a connection. And there's a connection and a sentient thing. When Awful was talking about Shigaraki and K going stupid right after the Star and Strike fight, he was talking about, yo, I really feel a connect. We're really merging now. I feel a connection and I sense your hatred. They literally seeing all. They don't have to submit to All For One because All For One is not this ultimate God anymore. He's becoming foolish, more and more foolish. And there's a reason. There's a reason behind it. It's like they just decided to rose up. Like niggas talking about, the speech is probably like. Nigga, All For One get his ass whooped and pressed on and all this shit, and niggas betraying him and rising up against him. Those are actual spirits that have a mind of their own. Don't you know what ghosts do?
Did you see chapter 333?
Okay.
Talking about chapter 333.
Hey, real quick. I got this one because actually I pulled up 333, went and looked at it, and then so this is one of the things that I will talk about now because Star and Stripe often gets brought up, and a lot of people were like, she was a plot device to nerf Shigaraki. I need you to understand this right now. Anybody who says that Star and Stripe was a plot device to nerf Shigaraki didn't pay attention to what was said after that fight or the actual result of what she did to him and why. So understand this. If Star and Stripe does not give him the New Order virus, that's what we're going to call it, the New Order virus. She does not give him that. Shigaraki does not break singularity the way he did. Let me explain. So if you look back to that fight specifically, what up, Trippy? Specifically between Shigaraki, when you look back when he first got New Order, his face swole, like basically instant swelling. Now, obviously you can say that that's just a byproduct of all the quirks freaking out, but it's more than that. His body straight up reacts similar to basically a lethal allergic reaction. Like when you have hyperregen, your body's going to be able to somewhat fight that off, but that destabilized his body. Now ask yourself this, what the hell was Shigaraki fighting after Kathleen Bates' vestige had already decayed? The other quirks. She accelerated Shigaraki to a point beyond quirk singularity by doing so because his body had to effectively deal with quirks rebelling against not only himself, but each other. Because now they're all fighting. Now they're all trying to get there. And now, as people are mentioning, Tenko woke up. That should have been our first clue that she had done something that was going to lead to a lot more complicated results than just something as simple as buffing and nerfing technically. Now, Tenko was activated, and we knew that all the way back then. So now you have more and more vestiges waking up inside this realm, specifically because Shigaraki's gone beyond this point and taken all these quirks with him. But all for one, one for all are connected quirks. So as one for all gets stronger and advances, and those vestiges get stronger, then everything connected to this system is going to get stronger. And we know that every quirk stores data. So every quirk that gets pulled into this realm now has a chance of being stimulated and activated. Now you factor in also that they've got this extra charge over the last month, this extra advancement pushed by the New Order virus. And now you have something that resonates with them quite literally, like the heartbeats and stuff like that. And Jiro's talked about saving people with the sound, music, all that other stuff. And now you have a combination of music, which is one of the things that brings humans and stuff together, gets us active, effectively playing into like reaching out to this level of consciousness that all it needed was a little extra poke. Just like how One for All is described as like kicking and blooming, all these other vestiges now have been getting this charge and this point to blooming. So now they're starting to get active. I expect we might see more of Shigaraki's vestiges too, or in the process, that's how Shigaraki ends up being in control. Similar to like how, have you guys watched Hellsing Ultimate? Anybody watch Hellsing Ultimate?
It's been a while.
So you remember at the end, Alucard ends up swallowing the Cheshire Cat.
Yes.
And because he swallows the Cheshire Cat and has all these other consciousness within him, he ends up losing sense of self. And he spends 20 years killing every other soul within him until it's just him and the Cheshire Cat, so that he can be everywhere and nowhere. And it's kind of similar to that, where now you've got all these consciousness and they're going to start fighting and activating, and that's going to lead to some major issues. And he's going to have to start offloading more and more quirks because everybody's eventually getting advanced. Everybody's getting a software update basically. And All for One's old hardware is definitely not keeping up. So we'll probably see more quirk rebellions with AFO, and then Shigaraki, that fight will specifically show us why he's built different.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey,
and
drop Thomas the link too, by the way, honestly. And that's the thing too. I don't know. So, hey, we still not. I'm still not pronouncing your name. I'm a nigga, so just keep coming with slack. And they say, and Jiro inspired them. Never before was anyone All for One fought as inspiring. Not even All Might. Okay. See, look, y'all really be trying to do too much, bro. Like it's not that shit. Like y'all really trying to force it like it's some magical like fairy tale shit. Like it's really that bad. It's not that bad, nigga. Like it's like literally there's stuff in the story within Presidents that's like I already explained to y'all. I don't know how you're not getting it. There's a literal connection. We know that like frequencies and sound waves, these shits have souls. Literally, Stain said they had the information from fucking Tartarus. Yo, they are communicating within sync. And as things went on further, he literally said, yo, we're actually fusing and merging. I can feel Shigaraki's hatred. You know what's the difference between all my inspiring people to fight All for One and Jiro and these other niggas inspiring people? Nobody touching All Might. Tell me who in this series is touching a prime All Might, a weekend All Might at Camino.
Hold on.
Because y'all nobody on that level. That's what I'm saying.
East. Hold up. Now, Fish, this is what I'm talking about with you and yo not talking. So Fish just specifically sent me page 9 from, I believe this is chapter 3. Is it 333 or 334 that this one's from? 334. And one of the things that is emphasized during this chapter is it's as Kathleen Bate is decaying, that vestige is decaying out of him. You see the darkness of All for One, and Shigaraki is melded together as one vestige, but the side of Shigaraki is white, showing that he's active, sentient, and the All for One side is dark. And the specific phrase on this page is, as long as people stand up to save each other, someone will inherit that will of heroism. And make no mistake, they will strike you down. And Shigaraki is melded together.
The only reason I was quiet though.
Can you maybe silence the stream?
Yeah, the only reason I was quiet though is because I was looking it up though. I was going through chapter 333 and then 334 real quick just to see, and I found that. So I was like, okay, this is interesting.
So yeah, that lets you know right there that New Order virus was specifically to set this up.
We also I wanted to mention something that East said, which is that even All Might didn't inspire him that way, or was it something?
Because somebody was like,
Somebody in chat said.
Yeah, Jay was like, Jiro inspired them to stand up and not All Might. Do you know the difference between Jiro and All Might? None of y'all are putting anybody in the series except for like Shigaraki Maki and All for One on All Might's level, even in Kamino, or he was a god. Always in
that's what, but right, that's what I wanted to talk about, and that is that even Hawks mentioned it back during Pro Hero that Endeavor didn't, All Might didn't really inspire people to fight, but he inspired them. He made them kind of complacent. That's something that Hawks mentioned way back, that they were just looking at his spec and just hoping for him to deal with everything. So this would kind of fit into this niche that Jiro, who is weak and who's just a kid, who's fighting this quasi-god, is inspiring all these weak vestiges, while All Might didn't.
Exactly, because it's like this. It's like this. You watch Rocky IV, and I see Rocky going, giving his all just to avenge Apollo and shit. He going against Dragovich, giving his all, coming out. Like, that's inspiring, right? Does that make me think I could go fight Ivan Dragovich? No, nigga. Do you know who Rocky is?
Like, actually, a great way to highlight this is actually Death Arms. Because think about this for a second. We saw, like, All Might punch the air and created a tornado, changed the weather, and Death Arms is like, damn,
we can't do anything.
Like,
yeah.
He didn't look at that and go, maybe if I train one day, I'll get that strong. He was like, damn, I'm bitch made.
Right, that's just All Might's effect. The only one he really inspired.
That's the All Might effect.
I mean, he did inspire some people like Shoto and Bakugo and Deku, but these aren't weaklings. Like, they are already strong. They're just kids.
And that's another thing to note. Look at this. All these vestiges are adults.
Yes.
People who had like acquired those small despairs, as Nanami puts it. So it makes sense because like all the adults got complacent because of All Might. These kids were inspired because they're like, I haven't met the harsh grim reality yet. I can be as strong as All Might.
I mean, look at Jiro meeting reality
they were
now.
They were propped up as the next generation. All these other niggas was growing up while All Might was active. They came at the very last end of All Might's activity. Like, he wasn't as active as he was before.
Yeah, but it's also that specifically Bakugo, Deku, and to a slightly lesser degree, but Shoto too, were inspired differently than the others in class. Like, you can say that compared to these three, the others in class are also kind of complacent. Like, we could see it from, for example, when we had this very small bit with Mineta back during, I don't even know what the arc was, when Mineta fought Midnight. He was kind of like that. He was complacent. He just did this to inspire girls, and now he realized by watching Deku that he has to try harder. That to be cool, you have to be cool, and not the other way around to be a hero.
And another thing about that too is that not everybody was inspired purely by All Might to be top dog. Like, Kirishima wasn't like, All Might.
That's what I mean. Like, Kirishima wasn't inspired by him. That's only the only people who are really inspired by All Might to a degree that they tried to push to really the top of the top were Bakugo, Shoto, and Deku, who are special. Like, Deku is just. Deku aside, Bakugo and Shoto have quirks with which they can do this. Like, they don't have random quirks. I guess the people All for One stole his quirks from probably don't have super strong quirks. They have some very useful quirks for him, but not necessarily Shoto type quirks. And Deku is, I mean, he doesn't have a great quirk, but just in character, he's inspired by All Might. But it's pointed out, for example, also by Aizawa that they are just different, Bakugo and Deku specifically.
I'll say that this is a good thing to bring up too, is that because you could go, well, Deku had All Might's power, yes, but Deku suffered for having All Might's power. So at no point did him being that powerful demotivate his classmates, because they're like, look at you finally not breaking your arms to your own power. Look at you with this godly ability. Like, it's not. It's more like the same way.
Yeah, it's more like it's about damn time, nigga. Like, shit. And not everybody, and that's the thing too. It's like in real life, not everybody gonna be like, oh, just because this nigga got better physique or this and that, don't mean I'm gonna stop doing what I want to do. And it's like there's a reason that everybody is a combat hero. They have different reasons for everything. Like, just because Deku got that OD ass ability with Shoto on them, they couldn't do all this shit alone.
Also, That's why, Vitorino, I think this is a byproduct of the quirk singularity bypass happening with the new order virus, and them being like, because I think she like basically Kathleen Bates went into the like hallway of people's consciousness, like how that door is always closed in the vestige room, and just knocked on everybody's fucking door and was like,
and then
do you really gotta stay in there? And then,
like, then for those who didn't, so for those who she didn't knock on, niggas was like looking out their window like, hey yo, fuck going on out there? What's all that ruckus and shit?
Can someone real quick refresh my memory about how Shigaraki got the quirk exactly? Like, I know he got it from Ujiko, but I'm not sure at this point if All Might gave his quirk to Deku to the point where All Might's quirk grew weaker and then eventually disappeared. All for One, did he duplicate his quirk or did he give his quirk to Shigaraki?
He duplicated it to the original.
Hold on, wait.
Can I?
He created a duplicate of his quirk, yes, but he somehow took the original out and gave it to Shigaraki. I don't know exactly how that happened.
Because
Ujiko gave him the original.
Specifically, I think this happened when he went into prison, because we know that Ujiko had access to the prison record. So it either happened when he went to prison or around that time period, which also places both Shigaraki, like the fermentation of All for One and the fermentation of One for All, at a 9-month stretch between then and today.
Yeah, which made me think, I mean, this thought made me think that maybe this wasn't New Order's doing, but just a result of All for One's quirk growing weaker.
I mean,
you think it's like its hold on the other like individualities has just grown
something
weaker?
Like that. He can still, I mean, at least Hawks assumes that he can still steal quirks. So it's not gone, obviously.
He can, because he was just giving quirks like 2 weeks ago.
Right. He's still giving around quirks. He still can do all that. He still has his quirk. But if it is like with All Might, where the quirk will just steadily grow weaker until it fizzles out, then maybe for All for One, this shows in him losing his control over these different vestiges.
Also, real quick, hold on. I want to get super chat. Mr. Andrew came through and said Hori building off Endeavor off to go ham against AFO. We'll see. I think he's got like one more prominence burn or two before it's like,
nah, you really
gonna die, nigga.
so let me
it's
go
not,
off.
It's not looking good for Endeavor.
Yeah,
it's looking great.
Hey, Aniki, did you get Thomas the link?
Result aside, he's definitely building him up for the next great attack. Result aside, that's clear. He's definitely building him up. So
to jump off what Sam was talking about too, y'all do like I said, rereading is highly important because a lot of these things that y'all complain about now have very much set up and have a baseline. It's different when something comes out the blue, and then something has a baseline and a precedent for it, and it's just expanding upon even more. There's multiple ways there's multiple instances of messages having a consciousness, having the will, this and the other. The biggest one directly tied to All for One and himself and the quirks and the wills themselves is literally 287. When they get up in the vestige world and he's talking about, yo, we in the middle of a transplant, the consciousness, like, like an organ transplant, the strange phenomenon of when you take somebody's organs, you have to like, you develop their taste or stuff like that. Then he said, yo, when I sleep, they hurl and throw insults and shit like that at me. If the quirk is also expanded when they tried to snatch One for All out of them, and then that was able to meld, like, so they could, the vestiges for One for All could reach Deku even easier. If there's an evolution of singularity, with All for One and the Cassie shit and this and the other, and they're literally merging. He said, go back those couple of chapters right before the Alma reveal when they thought it was fucking Hakaguri. He's telling people, I got friends to spare. He was talking about, yo, I can feel your hatred. We're merging. We're becoming more in one, this, that, and the other. There's a little connection. They are seeing like, oh, okay, this is why you comparing All Might, they inspire me. No, because there's a fucking God around. There's a God around. Niggas gonna get complacent that they don't have to do anything for themselves because they're protected, they're spoiled, they're coddled. That's what everybody been talking about. Yo, All Might here, we need to get off up our asses. Now in this new era, niggas are seeing, oh, Ayama stepped up against All for One. His parents, these little lesser people that he considers bugs that are based on the same level as us, now they're inspiring us to do something. Jiro was rising up. People are taking a stand against him. Because then you talk about, before. Nigga, do you know what happened before? You remember 253? What they were talking about? Off one went around crushing everybody, dog.
Yes.
Nobody stood any form of a chance against this nigga prior to.
Let's
Now
stop.
we used to fear off one, right? Now as more time goes on, he looking more and more shaky and looking more like a fraud. Like he proved, like I'll give him this though. He did what I needed him to do because if Jiro's the first person to get fucked up like this, I can only imagine when the ladder go down the line for the rest of the kids. For real.
Okay.
We're gonna get to that later. But I'm just saying, he seemed like some unbeatable guy before. You know this. It's in the story.
Oh.
They show why we should fear him. Now he's dwindling down. They seeing more. Oh, this nigga really not that much. If we band together and we could do something. So if I'm already a spirit, I'm already fucking dead. Ain't no like I'm a damned soul, bro. There's no difference in the damn souls taking this nigga back down for their revenge. They already said they were throwing shit at him. And now Quirk Singularity and all that, and it's expanding upon, and it's getting more like that. It's like, nigga, now it's just the Quirks actually like, oh, we can do something too. We can make a difference. It's not they completely stop them and you can't use our Quirks. It's just a quick pause, and that allow for something else. And the vibrations in that too is that it started resonating within his body. But I'm gonna have Tarns to touch on that more because they sent me a text. But it's like, I understand if you don't like it, but don't call it no fairy tale bullshit. If there was something else, but prior to the fight that set up all this baseline, it's not just.
I'll definitely say that.
Randomly.
I'll definitely say that. I don't really enjoy the whole Jiro AFO shit, but I'm not gonna say it's like bullshit or it doesn't make sense or anything like that.
It makes sense.
That's just my personal own. Like I don't want to see Jiro in AFO boxing. Like I want to see Endeavor in AFO.
Okay,
that's just my personal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, real quick.
Yo. I'm muted.
Oh, you good? You good? No, I just wanted to say real quick. It's something interesting that I want to like point out with your point to that nobody was trying to see Jiro in AFO boxing.
I mean, I was saying just me, not nobody.
No. See, no. Because like, let's be real. Before today, I mean, before these chapters came out, if you was like, real quick, name top 15 niggas you want to see box all for one. Is
Jiro's not
making
that
that
list?
list? No,
Jiro's
not making that 15.
Jiro's not making that.
But here's the thing: if you told me name the top 5 people you want to see fight all for one, Endeavor might not even make your list. Hawks might not even make your list. And that's what I want to say is this whole battlefield is fights nobody asked for, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Honestly, I like how Hori's done it where Jiro's here fighting all for one. And it makes me like the first thing I thought about was like Jujutsu Kaisen when Maki was in Shibuya and everyone's like, bro, you can't roll with us. Like, you're not on that level. You're not on that. Everyone was reminding her you're not supposed to be here. And then whatever happened in Shibuya and all that. But it's just like, I'm looking at this with the Jiro thing and he's like, you're just supposed to be here for additional support when we need it. Well, y'all need it right now. I'm here. I'm doing my role. I'm here for what I'm supposed to do. And like, all right, Hawks is even thinking it like, bro, y'all gonna get slapped. He's like, well, can you help me again, Hero? I like that. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I have nothing against Jiro being there, but I absolutely agree that she is the most unexpected character to pop up here. Partly also because even if for some of you maybe Endeavor fighting AFO wasn't the thing they wanted to see. But at least it makes kind of you can explain why this fight has to happen that way, and it makes sense that Hawks would be there with Endeavor, and it kind of makes sense that Tokuyami is wherever Hawks is, but Jiro has like no connection to. I mean, of course she's friends with Tokuyami, but she's not even best friends with Tokuyami. Like normally she's going around with Kaminari or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's like these characters are just like thrown together, and 3 of them make sense. I'm glad she's there because she's one of my favorite girls in the class, but just didn't expect her.
Also, something that I do want to say that was a small paneling detail that I forgot to talk about while I was reading the chapter. You notice after the big attack, the heartbeat actually starts matching along the edges of the panels.
Yeah, that's
so like on page 9, like as the heartbeat is increasing before she goes plus ultra to do the like legato attack, it's like building up.
All right, so I don't want to touch on that. There's things I want to touch, but Ponzo, you go ahead and talk because you should.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We got you.
Yeah, for one moment I thought you couldn't hear me. That's why.
No, we could hear you. We were just wondering why you were talking about being muted.
Sorry, because that's why I was trying to work on my computer to see if something was not connected. Okay, so the first thing first, I wanted to add what he said about how All Might made people like feel complacent. The fact that if you want to understand how he did it, just read Vigilantes, because some of his best, I will say, best feats of Walmart are reading the story, shown in the story. This man was flying in a day, city per city, city on city, and stayed 5 minutes there, stopped every crime there, and went to the other city. He did that. That was his daily schedule, and he was sleeping while jumping. That's what he was doing.
Oh yeah, that's vigilantes with all my just like with a pillow mid-flight.
Why he was jumping to another city? This is what he was because he didn't sleep enough. That's how he was. That's how he was working and how.
Hey, which chapter is this?
Oh,
You don't remember that?
I don't remember which.
No.
It was
Yeah.
dangerous.
It's so
How's
funny
the
you
hype?
brought it up. I'm at chapter 118 of Vigilantes right now. Y'all got me
Yeah.
like I'm hooked on it right now.
Let's go.
yes.
That's the thing about it is really that the feats of All Might. You understand why people call him like he was a god? Because, I hope everybody in the world look at him that way because he was doing stuff. If he was doing the same stuff in USA as a student or something like that, just imagine a guy jumping from Chicago to Michigan in 5-10
I mean, the
minutes.
US is a bit bigger than Japan.
But still, but you know what? I'm just like even just working saying that in California because he was there in the West. But still, it's scary as hell to see that thing, to see something like this.
If you're a
And-
villain, it is. If you're a civilian, it's not scary.
Bro, I'm trying to say, like, bro, ain't no talk about All Might ain't inspiring nobody. Nigga, I can't fly through the sky. I can't change the weather.
Yeah.
You see me going around saving 1 million people in a day? No, nigga, I can't do that. He ain't finna inspire me to do nothing. I'm like, oh shit. As a matter of fact, I probably get lazy too. I'm like, hey, bro, homeboy got it.
He will do
I might start looking the other way. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
All Might sitting on the sky for me too, nigga. I'm like, yo, Toshinori, where you at, cuz?
He helped. He helped with that idea of heroes can do it. You know what I mean? That idea of that's how Shigaraki didn't get help because people thought to in themselves, yeah, hero's gonna save him. He helped for that. He helped really hard because what he was doing as a human being was impossible to understand. So next to this, about the fight with Alpha One. Alpha One, man, I don't know which kind of player of NBA player we can compare him with, because that man does everything. He trash talk, he beat your ass, laugh at you. He can talk to you about your mother on the court. You know, it's like a Gary Payton, like he's talking about your shit about how, but then he puts you punch like Larry Bird, looking like 3-pointers on you. He's gonna show you, I'm gonna do this, 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 and I'm gonna beat your ass. It's what's happening today, you know? I feel really, it's scary to be around that kind of guy. And he was in 253, we're talking about that. Every guy who had a good quirk back in the day, half he killed them or took their quirk. Nobody had time to resist because the guy that had the one for one most of the time were scrubs, were like guys who had, the only guy that had good quirk back in the day was the fifth user. What is his name again? The fifth user?
Banjo.
Chikabori?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
bad joke.
That Benjo Daigoro, yes.
That's the force.
He was the only one that had a good quirk. Maybe the second one, but I'm not sure about him. The other ones.
Boy, we ain't gonna sleep on 5G now. Hold on,
No,
cuz.
Fajin is cool
Yeah.
if you have.
It's very cool.
No. No. Faji has gotten stronger with the day, with the years. You have to understand. Back in the day, it was just like a super good punch. Like he was doing like that was somebody really good trained. I feel that he released that because today when we saw what we see what can do Deku with it, but we're talking about the first era of the quirks. His quirk was okay at best, not as good as Banjo.
It's the same era of quirk that AFO and OFA would come from. So
Hold on.
there were some good ones there.
If you think about it, though, 5Gen, depending on how you utilized it, was actually a pretty good system. Like, if you're smart, you could build up the charges, then you kind of will just like rotate between on and off, building and releasing.
Yeah,
It-
sure.
as far as early quirks go, it's really not that bad.
Faction is not the worst, but if you had like even like a simple explosion quirk, I mean, there are some quirks that can take you out with one hit. So a quirk that needs you to just build strength up over time, it's difficult in some situations.
Honestly, I need y'all to stop sleeping on.
We are comparing these quirks. We're comparing these quirks with quirks that get guys today who has tongues as cannon. These their cannons are their cannons as strong.
Yeah, but guess what?
What the hell is that, bro?
But guess what? Guess what? That's like 9 generations later, almost 100 years later, bro. Like,
yeah, that's what.
Look, and let's be real. Some of the quirks did age pretty gracefully. Like Black Whip is probably one of the. Black Whip is better than what Nana had. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Nana was on her. If All Might Superman, Nana was on her Wonder Woman gimmick.
The thing is,
what I'm saying though, like Nana's quirk
this.
without One for All though.
That ain't doing it. It's not moving.
Yeah,
it's not.
But the thing is, quirks didn't necessarily get. They got way more complicated with combinations that are very strong, but there were like baseline strong quirks before. Like I would assume that a baseline fire quirk was around from day one, or a baseline ice quirk, or a baseline explosion quirk, because they aren't particularly complicated.
Yes,
but they are still powerful.
Right, and like we can even see symptoms of that where like the best fire quirk combo that AFO seems to have on file is like this hard flame fan quirk question mark, and all that seems to be really good for was like creating a barrier of flame. So it's like it's not like, which I mean back then if you assume that somebody who got really proficient could maybe like throw the hard disc of fire, and then at that point you have like flaming destructo disc as a quirk, but other than that, like that's not that crazy of a fire-based quirk. Endeavor hands, and like even when we see a lot of fire quirks in the series, it's like somebody just like holding up a finger and lighting it on fire. There's doesn't seem to be a lot of like high tier fire quirks.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you that.
No, I'm just saying that there probably were strong baseline quirks. Like All for One is a very early generation quirk,
it's just that like
it's crazy powerful.
It's just that like the baseline of what was strong back then. Because like Hard Flame Fan still isn't a bad quirk. Like it just isn't as crazy as Hell Flame. But that would have been like a pretty good out the box quirk to have back then. And even now, depending on like how good you got with it, could scale decently.
We could probably compare to Burden, I guess.
Right. So it's like some of these quirks do still age well, even from like likely being older quirks or having a basis in older ones.
So there's something I need to discuss, right? So Ponzo, how many big booty holes did you touch? I mean, hold on, my fault. That was autocorrect. I meant to say, Avia, you had said that I wonder if the heroes are focusing too much on the mask. All four might have expected them to target this obvious weak point and have a trick or two up the sleeve. Bro, you know what? This funniest thing, I had just thought this shit in my head because I was like, nigga, he is a nigga that literally he was just like, bro, I got fucking 2,000 different pathways to get to one goal, bro. If something don't work, I got something else. The minute they pulled up, that nigga, they tried to cut that nigga mask. It was like, oh shit. Minute again, they kept hitting that same crack. You don't think this nigga didn't have something in the back of his mind? Like, they gonna keep on trying to hit that one fucking spot. I know these niggas like, he is a real little tactician. Like, he is 100 years old. You don't think he got fighting experience?
I mean, to be fair, the mask has everything he needs to survive in one place. Like, so if he doesn't come up with a procedure where it gets destroyed, that'd be kind of stupid. And it's not.
Bro, that's what I'm like. I'd be confused when y'all think be writing this story. All these characters have never broken their character, not once. Like, not once have a character ever actually turned into a new complete person and just did something that was out of character. Like, none of the villains, nobody has done anything ridiculous. You think Off One, as much as I hate the nigga, like I said, I give credit where credit is due. He is still a genius and a mastermind planner. Like, for real. You think this nigga just gonna be like, oh no.
Oh, I feel worried about the mask too.
Just like they hone in too much on that one thing, and now y'all gonna see him in a critical mode where he gonna be like, now I'm really gonna fuck y'all up. And then you gotta think about on the counter side. They also just lost, like I said, Hawks has lost his swords. Jiro only got 1 year. She not finna keep spamming her moves. She can't do it like that anymore. She did the last big one, but you know that fucked her up. Tokiyami just gonna have to be flying through the sky. He really can't get close. Because you seen they really no match for him because he almost blasted them niggas 2-3 times. Really would they already been dead if it wasn't for the vestiges saving some of them niggas. And they still Hawks' help, they still got blasted. So like Endeavor on the ground, he still got to get back up. It was like they not in some like, oh my God, now the heroes have the complete advantage over All For One. Not only does this nigga have a big narrative point that he not just gonna go down here against these people, he's not stupid enough just to be like, oh, my mask. Oh no, now I can't breathe. I shall die here. Like, come on. Really? Okay,
talk about
I really think this nigga wanna go down here.
Because I need to back you up with this, East, real quick, because it seems like a lot of people have forgotten what the hell was going on at Camino. Why did y'all forget what happened to my boy? Did you forget what happened when All Might told him he was fed up? Did you forget what happened when All Might told him, I'm sick of you trying to play with these innocent lives, people who are just trying to enjoy and be safe? He gave that nigga a left straight to the forehead, broke his mask, and you know what All For One did? Gave him props. And then made fun of him. And it was like, just like your master, you always lose your temper. You know, Nana Shimura said something like that right before I killed her. Like, breaking his mask just makes him find another way to flex on you.
Bro, if this nigga All For One just takes it off himself, that's gonna be like, he just takes the mask off, like, fuck it, I don't need it.
Like,
Should have done this.
like AFO will be like, oh shit, I guess.
I want the mask that bad.
I hope hardcore should do a pump fake with this nigga and have him go on the ground be like, my mask, you inconspicuous flies. How could you touch me, the demon? And him like, that's what you psych. And then he see like, psych. That's what you thought I said.
It was
good job, well done.
It's like, think about this. I think people forget that when All Might punched him in the face, when he got hit with that United States of Smash, it wasn't a United States of Smash to the mask. It was to his actual jaw. Because there was no mask in the way. Like
y'all really finna see a demon in that next chapter. Y'all really finna see a real demon pop up. Like, the nigga finna be a real menace. I always
thought that he was just carrying, that he needed this. He clearly didn't need it in Camino. Clearly not.
Yeah.
I just assumed that Hawks assumed whatever injuries he got in Camino would now necessitate.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh.
You keep going, say us. We just.
Yeah, I just thought that maybe Hawks thought whatever they did whatever damage he suffered in Camino now made the mask absolutely necessary. Because before, he could definitely at least last a while without it if he needed it at all.
My thing would be like, well, what did he do? Because when he was leaving Tartarus, he had the little apple, he had the floating thing with him, you know what I mean? So did he do something in that meantime to where we are now, to where he doesn't need it? But
well, what happened was that was just their assumption that he absolutely could not survive without
like he needed it. Yeah, okay. True.
Like All For One would have a contingency here. Man, okay, everybody is really lighting up this Chibi review.
Yeah.
I have not watched it.
No, that's not a review. That's a half-ass remark.
It is.
I haven't watched it.
You don't need to.
It's
you in a comedy show.
Like, look.
It's kind of scary how like downhill Chibi has gotten to the point where he made a video where it seems like he just skimmed through a chapter, only heard things, and then made a video pandering to the haters.
While doing a thumbnail leak of all things, like for scams, bro. Like, no, we ain't gonna touch on that. We ain't got time. Y'all want to see it? Go see it yourself. It's foolishness, and he gonna have to make an apology later on, like he did before. He gonna have to make an apology. So.
I didn't watch his last video. What happened?
Basically, he read leaks and it was like half-ass leaks, and he skimmed through the leaks. And I don't know how he got misinformed, but he gonna have to take back his words anyway. So you want to watch that video? It's comedy now. You want to watch the video? Go ahead.
You ain't getting a view from me.
Yeah, we don't got time. We have actual discussions be held up here.
Yeah, for sure.
So also, real quick, we've been kind of neglecting Tokoyami. But
I was just waiting to talk about my girl. I'm really waiting for the feature, but her ass be getting here too late, man. She can have like 5 minutes before the stream over.
Because my thing is that this chapter very much centered on Jiro and like Hawks, which for the narrative point that it's making about like the value of like even underdogs trying to like stand up and fight makes sense because Tokoyami is still technically not like a weakling. Like his quirk is considered one of the better ones, even though it wasn't enough in this particular scenario to keep Jiro safe or himself. But
it is the dark. It is the LA. It's not the LA. It's not the night. If it was the night, it would have been different.
Yeah.
The night would be interesting. That would be an interesting fight.
I would have laughed if he would have gone like full Ragnarok when the thing was like on top of them, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a thing that happened pretty quickly instead of it being like they had time to like look and be like,
he didn't have the reaction. He didn't have time to reaction. He didn't have the time to react, man. He just like poof.
I mean, to be fair, Tokoyami can't do anything with Jiro on her. He could only be transport. So now that Jiro is out of the fight because she's basically half a hero, he has to put her down so we're safe, and they go into battle.
Like, and all right, my thing is, who else do you guys expect to try to be getting back up in the air? Either back up in the air or just in general, because we know that this isn't gonna just be done. And if he could stand up after a blow from All Might, this ain't gonna take him down. So
it's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be.
I'm still under the volition that Shigaraki has to defeat All For One at some point. I don't see All For One falling.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a valid win here.
It's the citro. It's what you talked about. It's even Annika about that, and so and the fact that All For One talk about Shigaraki like it is in his other self. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think to complete it, he have to absorb him. Like maybe still the quirk of All For One. Maybe. To be completed. That's what I'm thinking right now. Killing the best way to kill him will be to absorb his to skill the quirk of All For One himself.
Hold on, I'm sick and I'm mad at myself for missing it. Because I made a goofy pun during the stream, but I kind of walked past the goofy pun that All For One made. Kind of just flew right by because he said, I'm harangued by this foul duo, but FOWL, as in two birds.
Birds. Oh, I do.
Look at that.
All For One is corny.
What did you say?
The word foul is another word that means bird, but like it's when you think foul in this context, it's disgusting. So it's like he made a pun on the bird duo. Which also, damn, that's some heavy Jiro disrespect, which makes it all the better that she kind of got at least a little bit.
A little bit. Got a little.
She at least got a hit in on All For One.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jiro got a hit in on All For One before Bakugo.
Remember that? No, I don't know. I don't know about the sales thing. Yeah, the sales been as high as they ever been. So I don't know what that's about. But Ninja Starfish, I feel like we're first going through the heroes getting some W's and achieving their goals before the tables could possibly turn. We'll see amazing chapter though. Like this is literally writing 101. When has any aim ever went completely and utterly smooth without some form of tension? Like if niggas get multiple W's, you know what's gonna happen, right? Like, come on, like we going on the ladder.
I think some people expect this to be working out because they're like, well, Endeavor was injured and Jiro lost an ear, so they've lost enough that it could be fair. And I think I think as much as they're saying, oh, that wouldn't be enough, subconsciously they think, well, this is enough injury that they could justify winning.
Nah, you see, that works.
And that's where they come from.
That works with non-headliners. That works with somebody as in if they were doing Kunita like that, or they were fighting Gas, and that happened. All For One is too big of a narrative person that you just, you guys kind of got hurt. Well, you can just go ahead and tap out here. You see, like I was saying before, the headliners actually matter. Had this been like a basic war like I thought it was going to be, and it lead up in like stage by stage, like we escalate from lower tier fights or like mid tier fights. So it's like, like Gas leaves field or Kunita's field, like they don't have much stake in the war overall. And then then we escalate to Dabi and Shoto. That makes or break where the series is going. Toga and Ochiko, that kind of makes or breaks where the series is going in the sense who wins and loses that. That tells you what you need to know. Deku and Shigaraki being the ultimate climax and pinnacle because that's tells us exactly how the story ends. Like when we go forward, we in here. Like that was like how the thing should have been, or you would assume was going, right? The fact that Dabi went down first, but that was merely just a catalyst for other things, and it's confirmed that he was charging Prominence Burn even after they took him out, just shows that there's a shitload of stuff coming down the line that gonna be hitting like a truck. Like we're literally just revving up here and there. Like everything gonna have all the beginning stuff is just a narrative purpose and the catalyst for a domino effect that come down later. Is once again I'm seeing Horikoshi's writing like Dabi shit wasn't just Dabi shit. It was so much more things to add on to it. This is why Endeavor got into his headspace and really got fucked up and fell for All For One because he was just like, my boys, that really made him go stupid again. Like, oh shit, my boys, this, that, and other. Revved up Spinner. Once again, they had him go crazy. Again, then they had a reason for us to go all the battlefields, everybody talking. It's just like, again, like everything's going and leading, flowing properly. That's why I'm so envious of Giorno because he's taking a break and letting the shit stack. And I would love to let this shit just stack and come back on like a 10 chapter, 20 chapter binge where like shit gonna be so clear, like it always is. Like it's gonna be so fucking clear. It's always like when you come down the line. It's just like I'm seeing the little domino effects. This is gonna lead is a catalyst for so much bigger things to come. Just like now, right here. I don't know why y'all think All For One really finna go down. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, but y'all are like, Endeavor on the ground. I know he getting back up, but like, really? Like these niggas are fucked up. They got no weapons.
So here's my thing: is that the other thing that I want to kind of highlight with this fight is that Dabi versus Shoto basically ran a course of like 4 chapters, like 3.5 to 4 chapters. So whatever the results of this matchup is going to be, really does feel All For One favorite when you think about the fact that we're 2 chapters into like this official like confrontation almost, and each chapter people are getting maimed and needing reinforcements before like this isn't going how Dabi versus Shoto went, where it was like, oh yeah, like we got these people here and this team is going to make it through. Oh, the sidekicks fell, but that's okay, they fell towards the end of this conflict. No, this is people dropping consistently per chapter. Somebody is tapping out.
You know what?
Nobody has actually tapped out yet. They are,
or getting pushed
Hero
to
lost
the
an
point.
earlobe, which is important for a quirk, obviously, but it doesn't mean she's tapping out, and it's not an injury that would take her out of the fight, just half her power.
No. Gerald's about done. She ain't gonna be blasting out what she did before. Like they were.
She just did that last blast with just 1 earlobe.
Hold on. Yeah. Sorry, let me rephrase this. Hawks losing apparently his last sword. Basically, we're at a point where
Hawks is pretty featherless. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like All For One. We all agree like this isn't gonna stop him. It shouldn't be enough to make him immediately go down. So it's kind of like Hawks and Jiro are basically done unless they got unless Hawks has another sword and specifically broke one sword and like put the other one down and is gonna try to fight with one. They're really down. Like every chapter they're losing more. Even when they try to gain something, they get a lot of
Endeavor and Tokiyami are the last hopes on that battlefield.
And then at that, Jiro's still like she's fucked. Her power is halved. At full power, they were barely getting this nigga.
I mean, Jiro
Hawks had to
play
keep
the major role in this fight anyway.
Hawks had to keep saving these niggas. How many times? And she still got fucked up.
Yeah, obviously.
His power's not finna decrease like that. Like they gonna start becoming more of a hindrance, and then like. She put her work in. She did her thing, but
actually,
it's time to go sit.
I want to bring something up because Alves mentioned it in chat. It's not just Jiro who's going to probably die from blood loss. It's Endeavor. Did you notice on the first page the bottom left panel? Mm-hmm. Are you speaking, Aniki?
No, he's talking to his girlfriend.
Oh, never mind.
I was going to tell him to play his thing on because he.
You mean the puddle or whatever, the dark spot? Yeah, it does look like it's bleeding. Something.
He'll be all right because he can cauterize the wound. He can cauterize it just like he did. Just like he did with Miracle.
This wound is not gonna take Endeavor out, and it might ultimately, of course, have bad consequences or be a drag later on. Obviously, I mean Hawks pretty much pointed out that it missed his lungs. So and AFO also basically confirmed that as long as he breathes, he will fight. So if I just feel that if Horikoshi wanted to tell us that this wound is gonna take Endeavor out, he would have said it punctured his lung. It didn't. It's a clear sign that he can't continue fighting.
This is my thing. What before this? What were y'all ranking Jiro? I bet you ain't nobody giving Jiro an S tier character, right?
No.
Obviously.
So I guarantee you, I bet money $5. 90% of people I ask right now, they're gonna give Endeavor an S tier, right? As far as narrative and character, right?
Sure.
There are different levels to characters of what you can do. You can just throw Shishido to the side and give him a quick death, right? You can't just toss, or you can just toss like one of the kids or one of the heroes, like you can just toss Wash out, you can toss Kamui out, right? And then you can just give or you can just toss Midnight Killer, right? You can't just toss Endeavor willy-nilly where you want to go. There is very much caution put into this. All for One needs to move forward in advance, but Endeavor kind of doesn't have to, because All for One, and it's just like they're not on the same level. All for One's weekend is like, you got to think about who has like better narrative points. That's a big
Endeavor,
part of the
obviously, he has the best story in the whole show.
Exactly. That's why this isn't like JJK.
You're all going to be surprised when Endeavor wins this, I tell you.
But I'm gonna say this. This is what was weird. This is what was me about at least the scans. At least the scans was weird because when you start the chapter, at that little side note thing, it says the confrontation with AFO reaches its climax, and I was like, "There's no way this fight is reaching its climax in this chapter, or even the next one." I feel like maybe in the next one we'll probably get
editors
like more chapters, dude.
Editors don't just be saying shit. They was doing that shit in the war for like 10 chapters almost. Oh, the war reaches its climax. Oh, the war reaches its climax. Oh, the war reaches its climax every week.
I'm like, AFO ain't falling here, so this like the climax of like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
I say it's a climax of Gunga.
The editors knows just be chatting, bro. That's all it is, just to gas up some hype or whatever. Them niggas I still won't forget the war. Them niggas are saying, oh, the war coming to an end. War coming to an end. Oh, the climax is here. And Maki ain't even reached Shigaraki at that point. So it was just like, they were saying that shit for like 10 chapters before we even got to that.
Also, I'm gonna say this. The only thing that I want, the better this fight goes, I'm gonna just say this: the better this fight goes, the worse it kind of sounds like for everybody at the UA. The reason why I feel that way is because All for One is like highlighting the significance of the other self, sure, but also the odds of everything going this like smoothly enough for them to just keep winning just doesn't seem likely.
Yeah,
especially
they're not fighting a one-off villain. That's what I need niggas to understand. They're fighting the secondary main antagonist.
And while All for One himself doesn't necessarily need to be at the front line anymore, the odds of his end coming before Togus just seem astronomically low. And let's be real, he's taken some kind of beastly, monstrous looking quirks. I doubt that he only has to use that on his hand. So at this point, we need to see more transformations out of his like actual body, because we know he's going to have the quirks for it. And if he wants to keep himself safe, he probably has at least some gigantification and stuff that he can utilize, because those are some of the quirks that would have been around for a while. So like when you think about how gigantification is seen as a quirk within the series, when two bad guys have it, it's not like, whoa, two giants. It's like, damn, another battle of giants. So it's about time that we see probably a bit more physicality out of AFO, because he's kind of been fighting them how they like to fight so far.
Yeah, because they've been like,
he likes to beat people on their own game. He likes to beat people on their own game.
I want to say,
hold on. Hey Nafisa and hey Sheena. Let me get that out of the way. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I think that this fight and the choice to have first Shoto and now Shoto Dabi and now AFO, Endeavor and Hawks and whoever else is there this feels very much to me like the wrap up of the Todoroki family line's B plot. Like we're constantly going back to that, and we now even had a new flashback to the Toya Shoto thing. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to AFO at this point, but it feels very much like we're wrapping up this family storyline.
Let's see that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get Walking stuff out first because I don't feel like saying Tarnish and Walking's thoughts at the end. So I'm just gonna go ahead and chop it up now so that maybe give us something else to talk about. All right, Walking said, first note, poor Endeavor got fucked up. Tragic. But this was the best use of tactics and teamwork in the series, hands down. Jira moved up a lot for me in terms of character. She was already fantastic, but this showed she has the heart and soul of a true hero. Being able to push herself past the fear of All For One was inspiring. Reminds me of when the gang ran to All For One the first time at Camino. That bitch ass bird put in some work, not only leading these kids, but using the technique of I'm gonna hit the same spot over and over and over again until it breaks. Simple yet effective. The Vestiges rebelling against All For One is brilliant. Now they have the strength to rebel against him and ensure his defeat. Almost like Cassie and New Order did something and actually mattered in the grand scheme of things. Nah, Corey fumbled apparently. Oh, good old Watkins. Good old Watkins. Art was on a whole other level. I could feel the desperation on each page and panel of the chapter, especially from Hawks. I'm curious if the Vestiges Rebellion is going to happen to Shiggy as well. I still hold on that because of Decay, he can get rid of that weakness since we have seen he can use his quirk in the Vestige world. 9,001 out of a 10 chapter, godlike chapter. Horror to go. Anything else? Oh, that was it.
All right, you got any more words from distant readers?
I got Tarnish.
Oh, let's hear it.
All right. He said, Horror shit for all. You touched my baby. This shit at no, got you. Your son, Endeavor thinking about Shoto and Toya is a good way. I was thinking recently we haven't gotten his real thoughts on anything in a minute. He's down bad, son. Mad goofy. You feel me? You heard? Hawks and Tokiyami finally interacting. Again, that bitch ass bird getting on his nerves. He just love him. All For One shit talking Jared was typical, but I like that he acknowledged the school mindset because lots of people think the kids are still on that wave. Mad goofy, son. I told y'all on the scans, it was not New Order. Jesus fucking Christ. Jiro moment was so good and so heartbreaking. She did her thing. She stepped up, stopped sleeping, best girl. Last double spread is God tier stuck in my head. You're. That was exactly how he typed it. I added nothing whatsoever.
It's almost like he was here.
Thank you. Like a working on my impersonation.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Yeah, I would love to see. All right, before we get to the closing thing, because I want to have a discussion. Man, if this is the precedent of this, if this is a start, if you know there's only escalation, right? Just like there was in the last war, and this being the final thing, you know the escalation is going higher and higher each fight, each battlefield, each confrontation, etc. If we start with Jiro basically getting crippled in half with her quirk, her power getting crippled in half, this is the start of where the damage comes in. Oh man, I cannot wait to see my kids fucked up. Cause y'all niggas will be taking W's against these top tiers, these upper echelon niggas. You gonna earn that shit. You gonna earn that W, nigga. I don't see everybody blood. Now everybody gotta lose a wound, but some niggas gonna start losing some eyes, some arms, some fingers. I want to see some visible representation. Y'all earn that. Yeah, if niggas getting W's, they gonna have to earn that shit.
Aniki, I'm telling you, yeah, you can use your photo from the first videos that I saw when I met you. With 13 kids with Michael Jordan.
Oh man, the classic. Oh,
good kids.
So
yeah,
but that is something that I do kind of want to point out here is that the second we saw children at the AFO battlefield, it became All For One has zero qualms hurting children. And so that is something that I think we should have always kept in the back of the mind here is that well, if All For One sees a child, will he? Nope, not at all. And like what I think is also interesting here is that he doesn't even find any of their quirks worth taking, or he can't take. I mean, he might find Dark Shadow worth taking outside of the bird head aspect, but like,
I mean, I don't think just because you take, Dark Shadow, you get the bird head.
Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to mention though is Hawks did actually get stabbed this chapter, so we have to figure out what Hawks's wound state is like. Yeah. Then we have to figure out if Jiro's going to be able to keep fighting, and Tokoyami's gotten very little emphasis, but he was bleeding too, so we have to figure out like if he's going to be able to keep fighting. And we have the question of like how long is it going to take Endeavor to get back up there, and more importantly, did All For One take any real damage from Jiro's attack? Because if not, they're probably all fucked within the next 5 pages.
I don't think he did.
That nigga was rolling through that shit before. You don't remember before the messages started, that nigga? He was like, words, these, wheels, all that little cutie shit. It don't mean nothing to me. And the nigga was rolling through that nigga. He for the blast ass, man.
It's just like Cooler versus Goku.
Y'all posted that GIF Friday. I was funny, Cooler really popped up and snuck beat the fuck out of Goku ass. I said, damn.
Mm-hmm.
See, look, all that. See, look, y'all might be sure Horikoshi killing kids. Y'all like, oh, he want to kill a kid. This and another. Yeah, Ayama Kirishima still in chopping. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all talking about.
Kill a kid, I will respect him.
I mean, I don't know why y'all think he won't. That's the real question I'm having. Because I don't want to hear, is it Shonen Jump, this and other. Motherfucker, JJK, did y'all not read Chainsaw Man? All that whole bullshit about it being in Jump, this and other. Nigga, that don't mean nothing. You know what I seen in Chainsaw Man on the cover? I seen a lesbian orgy on Chainsaw Man on the cover. You think Children's Magazine supposed to mean something to me, nigga? No, it don't mean anything.
I mean, isn't there a rule in Shonen Jump where you can't have gambling, yet JJK has gambling?
Yeah, at first they saw this. Gege said something about that. He said he was gonna have with the Higuruma thing without spoiling.
Yeah,
and during the trial thing, he was like, well, he want to have a Pachinko machine, but his editor said something about you can't do that. But he brought that shit back anyway. I mean, I don't know what it is about y'all thinking like, oh, he won't kill a child. I did it like says who? Jump don't mean shit. It's like, and y'all want to say, oh, it's all about the kids. They care about the kids. Motherfucker, they only promote the same 6-7 kids all the time. When the last time you see Naoma on the collectibles with the big 3 and Ochiko? When last time you seen Kaminari? When last time you seen Shoji? Exactly. They only promote the same 4-5 kids. So y'all talk about, oh, they promote the kids, they care about the kids. They don't care about like 5 of them kids, nigga. They do not care about everybody. Stop lying.
I think it is to be expected that what All For One said back last chapter, back in 344, where he's like, in the old comics I used to read, there were Jabber characters. Yes. He is keeping to what he has says, that they only exist so the Demon Lord can show them what he can do, which is basically what he did against Jiro. He basically just made her half hearing, just like what happens with headphones with one ear dies.
Yep.
Like, the thing is, I'm so disappointed with this shit talking.
Mm-hmm.
He's essentially like, extras had to be killed to show the demon. I mean, he lost his mask. Yeah, it might not be as big of a blow as Hawks thinks it is, but it's still like with the messages keeping him back, the extras did do something.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point.
The thing that I can see him talking like I can actually see him saying that the mask was not really that important to him, but he just put it for the style. I can see him trash talking like this. I can see say something like this.
Wait for next chapter to just start with him suffocating and then it's over.
I really can't wait until we come back in like 2 weeks and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, All For One isn't down? What? I cannot believe All For One did not fall. This is so shocking.
You mean Chibi Reviews lied to me?
Oh my god! Look, I haven't even seen that video. You guys keep dunking on him.
You mean to tell me
also it is
never didn't lose an arm? Oh my gosh! OMG.
Oh my god.
Color me.
YouTube lied to me? No way.
Yes. Hey, I thought also that he lost an arm when I was thinking about it.
Bro,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like last week, dog. That was
Yeah.
last week. During
Yeah,
the
last
scan.
week I thought for like a hot second that he lost his arm, but then not anymore.
I don't know why I did it at all.
By the way,
Hey,
I forgot to mention
it's
this. I
raw.
forgot to mention this.
It's
Hold on.
raw. Yeah.
Did you? I gotta ask, especially like looking at this, looking at what's going on. I want to bring this up again because I'm looking at how this battle is going down, and part of me is imagining Bones having to adapt all for one, morphing his arm into a giant humanoid face.
Yeah,
because that cannon has a nose and eyes. And I'm kind of wondering again, where do you guys, instead of where do you guys think, I'm going to say, where do you hope season 6 ends to maximize the adaptation for this material as well as for the season 6? Just because
with season 6 ends,
like where are you hoping it ends, because you think that'll give it the best chance
my
at
heart
having a good adaptation for these 2 seasons?
My heart wants it to end at Deku Black's ending. That's my hope. That's my heart. That's my.
I see it ending when Deku went on his own. You know what I mean? Like the scene on him looking on this on the 2 giants fighting. You know what I mean? That's the perfect ending. To show that it is the start of a new era.
Yeah.
The era of Deku going out of school, going alone for a few times, beating ass. That's the thing. That's where I see the ending, because they promote the art for the war arc. You know what I mean? So they can each the end of the disappointment moment. It will be weird because you have all the situation with the prison situation. You get also the talk about the quirk one for all. That might be 1 or 2 episodes. So it is. I don't know how they will put it off, because you have to understand. We have to understand that it has to be at least 54 episodes this season. Or they can it can go for a longer one, like for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But I don't believe that they will do it because
I feel like, because if we look at season 4, where we had the second longest arc in My Hero, it lasted the entire core. Obviously the war arc is a lot longer. It's more heftier, has more content, but I feel like we could have 2 arcs in season 6: the Deku Black arc and the war arc. Or the war arc and Deku Black, where we could end off on Deku returning back to UA, and then the end credit scene of the last episode will be the Star and Stripe teaser.
I
could be wrong.
maybe.
Oh no!
I actually thought this would work.
I won't say yes to go.
I don't really know how much they can do in one season, but I thought this could work. But I also thought that a teaser for the, because I have done this last time, that they have kind of played around with the timeline a little bit. A teaser for the next season could also be the Aoyama reveal, and then go back to Star and Stripe.
Ooh.
And that basically to pull the Aoyama, because the Aoyama reveal time-wise happens shortly after Deku arrives in UA. So that would be the credit scene. And then to jump back. I'm not sure if that's too much or not, because the thing is that the fights were a lot of chapters. Like the war was a lot of chapters, but it is also only fighting for the most part. And the thing is that Bones can't. They always have this thing where they put money into one episode when they're fighting, and they don't put as much money in the next few episodes because they can't afford that. And I think it would be too expensive for Bones to drag the war out into multiple cool, awesome, expensive fighting episodes. So they will probably try to condense many of these fights into one episode.
Weird.
All right. Fish, what you thinking?
I'm honestly thinking right now, All for One. I've just been thinking about this All for One fight, honestly. I'm just thinking, bro, there's no way. I'm tweeting it right now. There's no way he's about to lose a fight. I'm trying to word it. Against an injured bird, a girl with one ear, and a kid whose quirk is strongest at night. ... While it's daytime. He's not losing.
Your endeavor is coming with the next.
You know what's
So-
actually interesting?
How would people think
So-
you'll be losing? What do you think?
Why
that
would All
you-
for One fall to Endeavor, Jiro, Hawks, and Tokiyami? How's that, bro?
I told you
Okay.
he not some escapee or some PLF commander. He's too big and prominent for that shit. And by the
Bro.
way, also re-looking at the chapter, I just wanted to look at the art, right? I was in the mood to see some fighting. When Jiro was talking, when Jiro was like, she's like, you want to talk about being scared, strong or weak, special, and the pages where her heartbeat thing started jumping up. It's funny, it actually started affecting All for One's body. When you look at that first panel where she starts talking, then look at his arm. The twins just start going up like a shooting vibrations through his arm.
Wait, which page?
It's about 9. When you first see her injury, you first see the ear gone. The first time you see the ear gone.
Oh, the twinged.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It's most likely just the recoil of the blasts.
Because it was when she started talking more and more, like, so she was definitely like, yeah, because it's like a little, the little shock factor, like next to some people's head. When
Yeah.
they, like, realize something.
Mhm.
Damn. So Shane, her power, she's her power half though. That's crazy.
But
Yeah, sure.
when were you thinking about the?
He's
what
talking
image?
about specifically, as Jiro says, you want to talk about being scared, and then you see like twing, and there's like that little dot that pops up, that little twing. Like it's usually like a sparkle that happens when a character notices something.
Mhm.
Is what East is talking about as far as like internal consistencies, as automatopoeias across not only My Hero but like all manga almost.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. What'd you say? I can't hear you on my right side.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Ow.
Wait.
Emotional damage.
Okay.
So, okay, because the reason why I was asking you guys about that season 6 and season 7 thing, though, is because I actually think that Thomas and Sayez are right about what's going to get adapted. Because the war effectively we pushed all the way up to chapter 258, and there's a ton of action sequences that aren't necessarily going to need long protracted scenes because of how much is going on or the way that the fight is going. So from that perspective, there is a legitimate argument that they could do the war arc similar to, but not exactly the same as they did Overhaul arc, where they dedicate pretty much they do the entire first core to it, but then add maybe 1 or 2 more episodes on that lead into the second core as part of the wrap up. And then that's kind of how you would also get like the wrong way to put out a fire, and that's where all that stuff would likely end up being placed. But I almost think that they kind of have to finish at that point. Because they're not going to shorten the season. So I think we pretty much have to go up to like 327. And the most I would want for reference to the next season is maybe like the after credits trailer being like a zoom in on Shigaraki's hand and then like slight pan out so you can see the jets coming, but that being it.
Yeah. That's the
Something
season
like
I'm trying
that.
to get. I'm trying to get some shit like that. It's like, oh, what the fuck?
Because
But,
that's about 60 to 70 chapters adapted, but a lot of them again being action sequences. Like the fight against Nagant is 4 chapters in the manga, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be like 2-3 episodes to adapt it.
Yeah.
That's an episode and maybe a half.
Yeah. Frankly, just as I said, I don't even think that Bones can afford dragging these fights out to more than 2 episodes.
Bro, Tyler, you spit, bro. Funny how people so pressed about Jiro and the mask crack, yet chose to ignore how awful and casually fucks them up. That nigga did not try. You know who was putting they all on their back into surviving? Was the heroes.
Okay. So
that nigga was just like, that shit talk, boom. Look at you.
Hold on.
Being,
I want to acknowledge what the madman said here.
Bro, there's no way Deku. Oh my god.
He said, "I'm telling y'all, AFO is going to spot Deku flying to Shiggy and chase after him. That's the only way Endeavor and the others can survive this fight because they're not beating him."
Deku wouldn't even bring All for One into another fight like that. If he noticed All for One following him, he wouldn't bring them to Shigaraki, and you know what I mean? Like that wouldn't not happen.
man, listen, this is my entire thing about like, listen, this is going to be one of those things that look, all you got to do is look at the last war, bro. That's the entire president. How did characters how did the Jakku niggas and the Mansion niggas meet? Nobody had any way of knowing that Maki was going to bulldoze through the entire country of Japan in 30 minutes because he got that cute sense of smell like that. Did nobody say that? I didn't see a single person say, oh, you know what? I can honestly see Maki waking up, him burrowing all the way across Japan, and gathering the league, and that's how they all link up again. Did nobody say that shit? I promise you, ain't nobody say that shit. So it's just like, there's a way, and there's multiple ways for them to get around. Really, the biggest contender for everybody getting together is Kurogiri, because the hospital getting broken into. Like, no damn bust about that. They ain't got the forces and the manpower stand against those niggas. They finna get overrun by a fucking superpower mob. So like,
I want to point out that the Central Hospital attack team, I believe, is the one being led by Spinner too.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, all the Heteromorphs, right? Yeah.
So Spinner's character is the fact that Spinner is not being painted as somebody who's necessarily going to have a direct matchup unless he fights like Shoji, which current Shoji does not look like a good matchup for Giant Spinner, if I'm being honest.
Absolutely not.
At all.
So from that angle, it almost feels like the raid on the hospital has to achieve something for the villains. And that something being a released Kurogiri could actually do some damage, especially because Kurogiri operates on warp gates. Because then where everybody ends up, if it ends up, let's just say Kurogiri warps everybody to where UA is supposed to be. Let's just say that we go with that. Even though he's supposed to have coordinates, whatever. Something like that. Because he makes warp gates, you can technically follow and chase after people into them. And then that would be how we get like Ida and Shoto to follow Dabi through the warp gate. That's how you would get, X, Y, and Z all to the same battlefield. And then all of a sudden you have the League of Villains versus like the main characters at the UA facility, if that's how you want to do that.
They would definitely they wouldn't want to do that because like me and Terrence was talking before, if Dabi and Shigaraki and Toga were all linked up, oh, this shit would have been a complete wash. Fuck all that shit. That shit would have been a different story.
I do think Adeki is right here, where this will definitely lead to this because there's no way Hori. I think I said this last time I was on stream. There's no way Hori would ever make Spinner say, "Oh, we are getting Kurogiri back," and have that be a fill attempt.
Yeah, I do think they get Kurogiri.
It don't fit. It don't fit because they have an objective. They're not just throwing hands just to throw hands at a location and get suppressed. Everybody else was accounted for, as in taking these niggas out. Spinner just popped up on these niggas.
Where's Mr. Compress? Where's he?
He's locked up in a jail. In the volume extras, they reported what jails Ray Destro, Gitan, and Compress were in, but I don't think the volume nobody ever translated that shit. It was just a page. So
the thing is, like, I absolutely think that they get Kurogiri back. He's been in prison, in hospital for way too long. At this point, they need him back. I'm not sure if I do see a team up or a meeting again for the final battle between Shigaraki and the core league members. I'm not sure if AFO will be among them, or if he is among them, if he will kind of join them. Because yes, he wants to join with Shigaraki, but I'm not sure Shigaraki wants to join with him. So I'm not sure if he's technically welcome at that gathering.
No, he isn't. He's not in the slightest. They already said I hate you, nigga. Yeah, he said I hate
yeah. which is why I see this coming. I see this Kurogiri getting Dabi and Toga all together. Not sure if this will make any change for the AFO fight we are watching.
I mean, I was just the thing is that it's all going to come together. Like we could theories are cool, but it's like how they get together is the easiest is just Kurogiri, and then it's just like at all the battlefields is like these niggas are they are the outlier going to literally battle. Remember, Spinner wasn't a part of the main crew that popped up at the parking lot with All For One.
Yeah,
he was off doing his own thing, so they didn't. That wasn't a matchup they equated for.
Hold on, there's something that I want to address.
No, they did, didn't they?
No, they didn't equate for.
They were prepared for Spinner attacking the hospital.
No, that was just they was just having like natural like guards there anyway.
No,
like
I mean Shoji is. The thing is when I think it was last chapter or the one before that when we got to see I think the one before that when we got to see all the different places, and one of the villains in one of the other places said that they went there and nobody knew, but they were the heroes were already expecting them there. That's what one of the villains said, right? So then none of the big hitters are there to catch Spinner, and there might not be anybody to fight Spinner. Like they might not be prepared for how strong he is, because how would they know how strong he is? But they were prepared seemingly for somebody attacking this place.
Yeah. Also,
but they had, that's what I'm saying. They had guards. Yes, they didn't specifically. I'm saying they didn't specifically have Bonama transfer Spinner and them to this location because we have combat people prepared to fight them. I'm saying this.
No, but they have. I mean, Shoji isn't the guard of the hospital.
This wasn't a setup match.
There because they expected that somebody would attack.
No, the other places are setup matches. They knew we're gonna hit Dabi, bring him here. We're gonna get off one at Gunga, bring him here. Yep. We're gonna fucking split this person up, bring like Ochiko, this stadium, Deku and Shigaraki, UA thing. I'm saying they had those matches prepared specifically. They just had guards on standby at the hospital. They didn't say Spinner's going to come attack the hospital.
All right, I just didn't agree with the word guards because I didn't think they were like it sounded like you meant they were just generally there. They definitely placed people there for the hospital to protect. They didn't think that Spinner would arrive being suddenly 20 feet taller than he normally is.
Yeah, with the army of
they didn't expect that, obviously.
With the army of heteromorphs, they didn't. That's those they did expect because they didn't even mention that nigga during All Might's thing. Like, oh, we have to worry about Dabi the Madman, his flames, Toga the Constant Thorn, Shigaraki that has been All For One, and there's like Peel Advisors in the comments. Nobody was like, oh, we gotta watch out for Spinner and his heteromorphs. Nobody was like going off like that.
Actually, as a question, two things. One, Ariki, what were you gonna say? And also, you mentioned on Twitter about the provisional license. I would like to hear more about that. But yeah, go ahead with what you want to say.
Oh, the provisional license thing. Okay, so here's the thing. The best way to explain it is to put simply, the provisional license is the literal blueprint of everything that's happened, like post Camino. But then, to an even greater effect, I think it perfectly encapsulates what Endeavor's reign as the number one hero would be like. Because it's basically a bunch of people scrambling to learn teamwork throughout Endeavor's entire reign as number one, specifically because he's not good enough. Yeah, and All Might didn't do it. He's not strong enough to just carry everything like All Might used to. And you have all these like big fights happening because of personal conflicts. People happen to be pushed away. Like Shoto almost killing somebody, and like all these, the Todoroki family, because of somebody being mad at Endeavor over some bullshit from way back in the day. Just all this stuff that like ends up playing into. Yeah. Like, so everything is like in provisional license is basically like, this is what's going to be the entire premise of the story. Look out for it.
For the war.
And it's like, boom, like they had figured out all these teams splitting up, having to handle this stuff this way, working on their teamwork skills, doing this, like, acknowledging all the psychological disadvantages that come with their mindsets. So it's kind of just funny to me that like provisional license, and in addition to that, provisional license kind of functions not only as an explanation and like a highlight of what society would end up being like, but it also, because of its placement between Camino and Overhaul arc, ends up being like symbolic of how Endeavor's reign is between All Might as number one hero, where he stood tall, resolute in front of people, and like held things down on the ground. And then Deku's reign is number one hero that we see coming in, where he takes people up to the skies typically to fight, just like how he beat Overhaul. You notice every fight, that like Deku takes against a major opponent, like since then has been about getting in the sky, getting high up.
I mean, Endeavor has been fighting the sky too.
But it's why like he started doing it more, obviously, but it's like after Overhaul arc, we get all these sky fights. So it's like this is where provisional license is placed, and then boom.
So next question would be, because what you've said so far would apply very well to mostly the first phase of the provisional license. So do we get an equivalent of the second phase of provisional license?
For second phase, then that's going to have to be, Deku coming in clutch. So I think some kind of round two. That's why I don't think the war is going to wrap up how people think we're going to just like wrap up real quick and easy. Because like this is the easy part here, this first half. So whatever comes next is going to be way worse, require much more effort, and some people might end up really failing in like a meaningful way.
Yeah, specifically I'm asking because second phase was just focused around rescue. And at this point, all the civilians are hiding somewhere around the schools.
And we know that they're raiding Central Hospital. They're gonna have like these other facilities or stuff. There's no way that they don't.
So we're expecting the civilians getting involved.
Yeah.
Sooner or later. Yes.
Civilians got. There was a reason that they had mobile escape routes for them. Like if that wasn't going to be used, Horikoshi wouldn't have threw that in there.
You mean the reason is for Ava to hijack them?
I forgot who said this earlier, but whoever asked what would have happened if Cassie had joined in on the final battle, it would have been over with. All you would have needed was Cassie and Deku fighting Shiggy, and then you would just have. Then you would just didn't throw everybody you got on UA Battlefield at off one. They would have smoked off one, and they would have definitely beat Shigaraki.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually agree with that because just using fist bump to the earth, clap, grab, all right, punch him in the head repeatedly, Deku, until he's dead. Done. Yeah,
and if you don't want to goddamn punch him in the head, I'll do it. You hold him down. I just Fajin up, nigga, and I'll do it myself.
Like she could have just kept clapping him in the air while Deku had him wrapped in black whip, and it would have been like, all right, there we go, patty cake.
And then especially they would have had goddamn Monoma was eyes out there too, in the distance.
Yeah, it just would have been squish.
Yeah, they would like they would have
squish.
There was a reason why Cassie existed but didn't make it to the battlefield, nigga. Like it's like he said, if One for All and fucking New Order colluded, like he said, like
the story's over.
The story's done. That would have been no tension whatsoever. I was like, yeah, they got every logical way. Fucking anime, fucking shonen, fuck all that shit, nigga. They got every logical way to beat this nigga.
Yep.
Like, so and we don't even know what Deku's, final quirk from the second user is going to be. So it's kind of like knowing how good New Order was, knowing that this is the primed up, like most affected quirk besides base One for All itself. Whatever it is, it doesn't need New Order helping it out.
Yeah.
Like, and Shinso is a good. I do wonder where Shinso is, but
probably minding his damn business, not in that fucking chaos.
Yeah, I was also gonna say Shinso really doesn't need to be at the front lines, and he doesn't have a power that's gonna necessarily let him be the asset that they need him to be. Not to mention, technically, like homie. Because he can't use electronic devices to project his mind control either. It's just kind of
was it Monoma and Shinso that was mentioned in the extract where they're going to be important during this battle?
Yeah, he said they'll play a role in the final battle.
Okay, so Shinso, I say like I don't think it's just Shinso learning how to mind control people to do an action. I think he is going to have an important role down the line. It'll be just with either Makia or with another hero, or at least he's with Kurogiri to at least keep him dormant if he does wake up.
My hope is, I figured he was going to be targeting Makia, because I think that would be an interesting take for him to just continuously be brainwashing Makia over and over again. every time, and since Makia doesn't feel pain, it's arguable he'd only have to do it once, and then he would just have Makia be this this completely tamed mount.
Because keep in mind, what's the one thing that we expect? That they're either going to break out Kurogiri and Makia or one or the other. It'll be a nice way for the audience to go, oh, wait, Makia woke up, but now he's back down again.
That would have to be like 10 or 15 chapters apart because niggas gonna get real upset about that.
They're always gonna be upset.
They're gonna be like, this big ass nigga woke up. This is go back to sleep. Mm-hmm. See, the kids ain't ready for the real shit. Yeah. They're gonna be like, Makia, go back to sleep. Okay, yo, me and my bad. See, a nigga like me, I'll be like, take your big ass into the ocean and drown, bitch. Don't bring your ass back up either. Fucking Godzilla lookalike. I told that nigga that shit. Take your King Kong body ass down into the ocean and drown. And you know what? We ain't gonna have no more problems. Because if this nigga get back up and they kill a bunch of people, you know who I'm blaming? All them pussy ass heroes. Oh, morality. Heroes don't kill. Nigga, have you lost your mind? Oh. I'd be ready to kill Shiki on that battlefield. It's a few heroes that got the right head on their shoulders. Because I ain't finna let that walking demon get out of here, bro. You got me fucked up.
That's why Gran Torino being like, I should have gone for the kill. Like, people always meet. Like, I saw that moment get memed when it came out, but he was like, no, like, yeah, I should have murdered that dude instead of
that's how I know. That's how it really reminds me of how it really reflects real society, how niggas become softer over the generations as the era we in now. You say one thing and you cancel whatever. See, and it's just like it just reminds me because back in the day, niggas heroes these days like, we just arrested this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. Niggas back in the day, Nana and fucking Gran Torino was fading niggas, and you can't tell me otherwise. Because Nana, like everybody bantering in the Vestas world, Nana come at the end of the chat. Can you kill my grandson, nigga? You got what it takes to kill this nigga and smoke his ass? Like, Torino, like, yo, I know what you think, Toshinori, but you gotta kill that nigga, and you gotta kill this nigga too. It's like they be aiming for the kill. They know what they need to be done. And
but Torino, he's also spitting too. Because I mean, killing is sometimes like a form of saving. You might be saving us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's crazy. The craziest part about that, him saying that, was that he don't care about that shit, right? He just said that to make Deku feel better because how Deku be.
He did.
He just said he an old man. He know how to finesse that young nigga. He's just like,
don't let us find out this nigga Gran Torino was hitting Nana, and that nigga's his grand. No, don't let us find that out.
Oh, all right. So. Real quick, I was thinking about making you guys do this for fun because I was thinking about doing a video, but I want, as a thought experiment, I want y'all to justify Dad for one real quick.
Ooh, activity time. Let's go.
No, bullshit time, more like.
Yeah, like it's the worst period.
I want to hear.
I'm here for that.
I want to hear like reasons why Dad for one is good or can work.
There's no reasons why it's good. That's all bad. Star Wars. Yeah, that's it.
The only way they can work is just because there's the pettiness effect. The pettiness effect that he's fucking petty, all for one, and people will love it. Love it to have that pettiness at that level that he's the dad of the main character, the hero of the story.
So,
tell you what. Oh, go ahead.
I'll give you something that I thought about that could make Dad for one a really good moment. But it would have to be done in my, like, I can't, if it was done differently than this, it probably wouldn't be as good as what I'm about to say to you. If Deku said, I know.
Oh. Holy shit.
Oh. I came back to something fire.
Think about this for a second. Because All For One has been using familiar reveals to crush number one heroes. If Deku admitted that he knew.
I ain't gonna
that
hold
would be out of the head. That would be
I ain't gonna
come out of nowhere.
I ain't gonna hold you. That shit was pretty raw. That shit was pretty raw.
Now I need it. Now I need it.
No, if he knows,
I could have worked that.
Because then it will
be. Would be like, yes, I've seen pictures.
No. Oh no, and you get the little picture of him like in JoJo Part 5 of Journal, but he has pictures of Dio in his pocket, in his wallet. But the thing about it.
Now, the reason why I say this though is like, if the mind game that broke Endeavor and got him wrecked, if the one that took All Might out and almost had him failing,
Yep.
He's not broke. Commissioner, stop that.
if Deku was like, nah, bro, I put it together a while ago, and I'm still gonna have to. I know what I have to do. Like, there's a reason you've been gone. I started thinking about it, what All Might had told me, and like if he explained, like based on what All Might told me when I met you, and a couple other things, I put it together. That would be kind of raw.
But
that would make.
There's no build up.
Why can't you say just say my mom told me?
Well, no, because like think about it. You could argue that like he's heard All For One talk before.
No, but I mean, why can't he just say my mom told me?
I mean, he could, but
that's weak. It's weak sauce.
I mean, either way, it wouldn't matter.
Would
like,
make way more sense than just
I read
all of these tiny little pieces he got.
It's more raw.
No.
If you put the pieces together.
Can I ask a question? When he used the flames, did he spewed it out,
No.
or just?
No, he shot out his finger.
Okay.
He can shoot quirk. He can really do whatever he wants with the quirk, so it don't even matter.
I mean, to be fair, it's All For One. Like he can do a fire quirk that shoots out his power. He just doesn't have to use it.
Yeah, matter of fact, why would he if he wearing a mask on time? Where the fuck was he gonna use this?
A hole opens up and he shoots out.
The thing about it is that he should have been a father for a long time too. You know what I mean? But
he's old.
No. This guy man can always have kids. That's the thing about us.
No.
He can be 90 years old and have kids.
No. I meant you said that he should have been a father for a long time. I meant because he's old, he should have.
And the thing about it, I think that he got different kids around different times. I see. For what I see, the guy he see himself like the demon lord. I can see him have a woman just like have sex with her, left her there with the child and everything. You know what? And come back just to coming back to take the quirk. You know what I mean? I can see
it's pretty demon lord energy just to fuck someone and leave.
So like my thing is that I'm not saying, that, and my thing is like, if anything, that will kind of like fit the demon lord motif even more.
Yeah.
But like I've said, one of the big contradictions in All For One's character though with this would be that part of the reason All For One wants One For All so bad is why?
It's family.
Because it's his brother. So it would be and every single villain in MHA has like
you're saying he can't have kids. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying he can't have kids, but I'm saying it would be very odd for All For One, for all the effort he's put into like getting his brother's quirk and getting his brother and because like he's fully aware that these people have consciousness, so he has to know that his brother's consciousness is in the quirk. So he's really just trying to force his brother to hang out with him. He's trying to unite
with him again.
Yeah,
that's the thing where I'm kind of a little bit. I'm not into that for one, but thinking about his character, it would make sense to try for an heir that is actually his son.
Right, and it would make sense for him to even. But like that, the one issue I have is that I have a hard time believing that All For One could neglect his own son. That is the one issue I have. I have a really hard time believing.
Look at him with Shigaraki.
He's shooting blanks. It's the only exception. Either he is dead for whatever reason he decided to neglect his son, or he's shooting blanks. Because he would definitely try. He's definitely the kind of guy who'd try.
Yeah.
If this all comes from the fact that All For One is impotent,
I think that's perfect. It's like, oh man, I can't have a biological child. Let me groom children instead.
That's my thing.
Thinking about it, he gave his brother the quirk pretty late. Like his brother wasn't a child anymore; he was already adult.
Yeah.
So this could have been after he found out that he's impotent. He might realize he's never going to have children, so his brother is the only thing he has. So
Deku should have came to the vestige room earlier. He would have seen All For One leave the doctor equipment.
To be
Oh yeah.
logical with
Okay. Cameron Bailey's also pointing out that like it doesn't seem like AFO holds malice towards the quirkless either. So that's why it's like, would he really neglect? He wouldn't neglect his son just for being born quirkless either.
No, the thing
Unless he
about
had to.
no. Just thinking about it. Because he's the whole time his brother was quirkless in his head. You have to think about that, and it didn't stop him to love his brother, because he loved his brother so much that he put him in a cave. Just because he didn't want him to go away from him.
Part of my assumption is that All for One's, I think they're adult orphans in the sense that I think something happened during the advent of the exceptional that led to their parents dying, involving more than likely somebody else with quirks. Because family has a lot of importance in this story. Like Toga's family was a huge part of why she ended up being like on the run and like just straight up snapping. Todoroki family, like, come on, I don't really need to. Even Shigaraki's like base family situation, even ignoring any ties to All for One, was pretty wild and a part of what led him to going down the path that he is and having so much hostility.
I mean, there
family consistently matters. So at some point, the All for One story and the family of All for One has to come into play here.
Yeah, there is technically a argument that maybe if we consider that maybe he has a child, maybe that is Deku, and maybe he bans that. Why would that be? Maybe he actually realizes that he is cruel and he actually likes his son too much to give him this cruelty. He chose Shigaraki as his heir, who is his enemy's grandson. So it is something that he would. It's a sort of punishment for his enemy to make his. So
I don't think so.
If he it is definitely a punishment against All Might. He definitely tries to hurt All Might through this.
Yeah. No, All Might.
It's also that Shigaraki is very suited because he has this special quirk and he's super special. But also, I don't think he tried to do Shigaraki any favors with this, really. So maybe he at some point when he had this kid had a sense of regret, a sense of he didn't want to put this fate on his actual child. Instead, he chose a child of his enemy.
Yes.
My only problem with that is that All for One sees Shigaraki as a child. He gave Shigaraki his last name.
No. He gave it. He gave it. As
he wants to be him. He wants to take him over. He wants to kill him, basically.
Yeah. He wants Shigaraki as a clone of himself.
Yeah, like, he's not his son. He's his second.
Yes, he's second him. That's how he sees. That's what he said. He said, "I called you Tomura. It's my name." And the thing about it, just thinking about it right now, is that even Shigaraki, because his name was not Shigaraki. I think Shigaraki Toromura is the name of All for One. Because his name was he had a different name like when he was a child, Shigaraki Tomura. If I remember well, he had another name.
Tomura means Tomoran, and then Shigaraki is just his last name.
Yeah, but even the thing about it is that All for One is the kind of guy, when you see how he acted against his brother, if he had a child, this guy would have given maybe the best situation that he could have all his presents. You know what I mean? Deku, literally his father wasn't there, but his room, the way that his room was set up, it seems that he had everything that he wanted. You know what I mean? If you want, they have a quirk. Next, after we have a quirk that he had everything that we want, like presents, attention of his mother. You know what I mean? But he got it all. So who sent the money for that? I'm always asking about this because his mother didn't seem to have a job. She was just a house mother. The money that they must have for their place and the thing to eat well and stuff, because she became fat too for a reason. You know what I mean? So
like the thing is, you can actually make it make sense if you want to. Like, I'm not for that for one, but Daniel says he questions if why would he leave? But if you take this hypothesis, you assume, how would you make that for one make sense? And this would be my way. I would say he chose Inko to have a child with her that should be his heir. As soon as the heir was born, however, he realized what a cruel fate that would be to impose on his own son. So he chose not to do it on Sun, and he gradually distanced himself. However, when All Might basically beat him up and made him ugly, essentially, made him definitely look like a villain, he distanced himself completely. Because at this point, Inko always says that he's somewhere in some other country working. We don't know which one, but like you would come at least like for a weekend sometime or a week. Why would you distance yourself so completely? And maybe the answer would be that he doesn't look like himself anymore. He looks like some monster, and he doesn't want his family to seem like that for the last how many years it has been? 5 years, I think, before the series started. So that's not quite enough for Izuku to forget completely about it, but it would definitely be enough for him to have a bit of a vague memory about his father.
So
also real quick, hold on. I do want to address the question that Cameron Bailey had, because money is not an issue for All for One.
Yes.
Specifically, we gotta talk about the fact that if he ran Japan, exactly. Thank you. Yes. It's basically Yakuza Mafia, whatever. If he's got these scientific experiments going on, first off, he likely has money from the doctor, even if you ignore the fact that he probably doesn't need the doctor's money. But he would have money from all the renown and international success of the doctor. Second of all, though, likely he has like investment portfolios, stuff like that, things that he's purposely set up. Third, because he's got ties around the world, he's realistically getting kickbacks on multiple international rackets, from weapons to drug racketeering, even human trafficking, since at the end of the day, he
probably gets money from Aoyama's parents and others like him.
Yes.
So even just manipulating people, he doesn't even need their money. He's making people do what he wants anyways.
Yeah, you know he had Aoyama's parents in the back burner, and those niggas are rich. Pretty much. But
so thank you, Daniel. That too, though, like the reason why I wanted to do the thought experiment on just could we make Dad for One work is mostly because I don't like just completely like shitting on a theory. It's like when I've tried to make Eric like the Bakugo work, right? Like with Bakugo being the second user, and that one, it just took a lot of developments that you could say, hey, these could happen, but they're so nebulous, where my stance was always that if you really wanted to make Bakugo work, you wouldn't have child Eri send Bakugo back or Hopper up on Trigger. You would have had adult Eri come back in time to help.
I actually now thinking about it, I actually like it, because I like this idea about AFO being so screwed up that he realizes something he's doing is a terrible fate for his son, so he chooses some other kid. That's just so cruel. So I actually, the more I try to make this make sense, I kind of like it.
Well, it's because what I liked was when I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, I think I could handle it. I would like it if it wasn't something that hurt Deku. Yeah. If it was like a subversion of the way that the familial reveal has been done, and Deku was aware, or even if he was like a little shocked, quickly got over it, instead of how like All Might or anybody else needed like a prodding.
We've been teased Izuku losing his head. We've been teased that for so long. Just imagine the Star Wars scene exactly playing out like it does. So, I'm your father. No, chopped off head.
Go ahead, talk about why All for One, Dad for One don't work. For real. Also, Kiri Puki, it's all Shigaraki. It's Shigaraki's quirk. And they know All for One dealing with this nigga distortion shit. It's all Shigaraki, all right? Nigga had that itch since the beginning of time, all right? But anyway, the reason this shit don't work, and it can't be no Star Wars moment, we literally already had the Star Wars moment.
We did. Back in Capno.
It's literally just like, okay, let's just rehash this and rewatch this. And I got another question. I don't get what's so special about My Hero in this regard, that why the hell we all concerned about people's parents and how they make money? I ain't hear nobody ask about Ichigo dad. How was Yusuke mama making money? She ain't nothing but a fucking
Ichigo's dad is a doctor.
She's a prostitute.
Okay, so how was Yusuke mama making money? We worried about her keeping the lights on, all that. And that bitch wasn't doing nothing but drinking all fucking day.
What you talking about?
Hey,
I'm asking for My Hero and My Hero only. I've never seen anybody go as hard as to. Oh, where is this?
People are always obsessed with people's parents.
The thing about Horikoshi, he always answered these kind of questions. That's the problem. He wrote the story like this. That's the problem. Because every parent that we saw, it was explained what they were doing from work and why they were in good situations.
So what you're saying is that to a certain degree, Hori has kind of spoiled his fans because if you think about it, his character pages do have a lot more info than like you don't necessarily. Like we didn't need to know. It's like no, Jiro's parents are actually professional musicians. Bakugo's parents work in the fashion industry.
Why did we building industry?
Like why do we need to know that Bakugo's parents work in the fashion industry? We don't.
It's just the point that it's just that niggas are spoiled and they don't get it. Then it's just like it's driving them crazy. They're just spoiled. They're so used to getting this.
In general,
it don't matter.
Always obsessed with MC's parents.
This is so. In other stories, niggas don't even got parents.
I know.
Yeah, but people are always obsessed with main characters' parents. Like, don't act like you don't know Crocodile is Luffy's mom theories. Yes. People are always obsessed with the parents of the main characters.
No, Luffy's parents. Hold on, Luffy's parents in One Piece is different because that has to deal with Dragon and who his and then them not even knowing who Luffy's mom is.
No.
That's different.
East. Hold on. So you're right in the sense that it is a little weird that like it's treated as this super major crazy detail that makes or breaks the plot when it's really not that big of a deal.
I promise.
But I will say it is normal. Like it, I when I say it's a byproduct of people being spoiled, it's the same as like how almost every character's design in Class 1A, outside of like a very few, pops enough that like one of the first memes that came out when MHA was becoming popular was if you haven't watched the show, spot the main character. And you could like look at all these people's designs and plenty of people were viable candidates to be a main character if you just looked at their outfit. Some look even more main character-y than Deku, especially in the early phases of their fits.
So you don't pick Kota.
Yeah, bum-ass Kota. But
with that
but like you guys see what I'm saying, like to a certain degree there's so much excess good stuff in MHA that instead of people looking at it as like, oh wow, look at all these like random bonus snacks like put throughout the manga, instead of being lazy and being like every character looks like a side character, which when you think about what Sue says during the getting Deku back, like you're not some character in a comic book, which yes he is, but you know within the context of their verse, Deku's not a character in a comic book, so of course everybody's going to have main character aesthetic because as far as they're all concerned, they are the main character. And so it kind of leads to this weird where I think people like over attach to almost everything in the series.
Oh yeah,
even though it doesn't actually directly impact anything.
Yes,
and it's just a weird.
I think people needs to realize that not everything needs to be handed to us on a silver platter. We don't have to learn everything. Some stuff can be left ambiguous or left to be a bit.
No. I understand trying to figure out like because I want to go now. So I understand y'all trying to like figure something out, but I'm like, I know you just trying to compare like Luffy mom situation to like what's going on over here now. Like there are certain things that's like I ain't saying we ain't never discussed it or it never been something like, but I was like, yo, y'all niggas really like concerned how Inko making money like that. I was like, damn, these niggas really having discussion to make Daft one work like that. Like real.
You play a sexist card. Once we ask how she makes money,
it was a thought exercise.
Also, exercise. Fish, why are you retweeting that midstream? You in church.
What did I do?
Let me see why he retweeted.
Go look what Fish tweeted within the last 2 minutes.
Okay, put it on the stream. Put it on the stream chat. I
didn't expect to get exposed like this.
Man, you have to explain. We are in the church. Everything that we do is watching.
No, it's been like, all right, y'all niggas. But let's get back to the topic on hand. Why Daft one don't work? It's too late.
I feel like it's too late too.
It's too late.
Yeah,
that old petty ass nigga who already had multiple confrontations with Deku, and he didn't say nothing, not once. Nah, it would have just been like some just for shock factor type beat that you just trying to make it whatever because it's over. It's been over. He would have said that shit a long time ago, bro, when they came face to face. Or he wanted to break All Might.
And that's genuinely why I'm like, it now only works for me if Deku knows. Like, it only works now as a reveal if Deku's going to know, because saving this for, like, this weird final reveal. It's like that shouldn't shake Deku's resolve.
No.
All Might's been in his life enough that All Might as well be his dad now over the past 2 years instead of whoever anyway. So it's like for me, if it was going to be a reveal to mess with his resolve, it needed to happen before now, because there's no reason for Deku to me to have that conflict of like my dad or humanity. Like no, like Deku's going to be like bitch. Like
that nigga hate that nigga now. It's over with. He hate that nigga. He ain't gonna have no conflicts about beating this nigga down. He sees no good on him.
He's so willing to beat ass that Endeavor copied his combo to use on AFO.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
So it's like at this point he'd be like, "What? You're my." Shoto helped with his older brother earlier today. I got this nigga.
Like AFO also isn't like the main villain anymore. Like yes, he is up there, but Shigaraki is taking over. So pushing this whole dad for one spotlight now would be like outside of a scenario where Shigaraki is aiming to kill at All for One cries for help to Deku is like, I'm your father, you have to help me. Makes no sense to bring it up.
There's nothing from this theory that adds to the story.
The thing about you have to think as a guy who likes stories, who like being the villain in the story, the demon lord. The demon lord, the villain of the story, the hero of the story of the next story is his own son. Bro, that's you can see him putting something like this out. Hello, All for One is the kind of guy that when it's about pettiness and the things that he loves, you know that he will go 100% for or 120% for it. That's how he is in my mind. He's the kind of guy. Literally, he just wants his brother back. That's why that he wants that quirk All for One for all, because he just wants his brother next to him. That's the only thing that he wants as his whole time of the story, because he just wants his brother back. That's the thing, and just seeing this, if that for one happens, I don't think it will happen, but still, if it happens, like the idea that you put at Aniki is one of the best even to get, and it will explain a lot of things why, and there is reasons, because there is All for One always has reasons to, because he will be the one he will be the author, the generator of the idea, having the hero fighting his two sons, like the fight of two sons. At the end of the story, it will be the fight between Shigaraki and Deku. So if they are both of his sons, that's a kind of cool story. If you see, if you're a writer, I like the idea. I'm seduced by the idea to have this. Even.
I hope that if it happens, the Endeavor is still alive and tells him how does it feel to make one son fight the other.
Yeah, that's that would be hilarious. I can see laughing.
Oh, that'd be too funny.
So the one thing I will say is that also at this point, the other way I could see this working, based on like kind of what we were talking about here, is if Shigaraki did the reveal and not All for One. And I literally mean Shigaraki's personality, not All for One's. Mm-hmm. So like if they got into a fight and it actually took to like the vestige space, mm-hmm. and we kind of had like Shigaraki reveal it to Deku, and for like All for One to be like, wait, how did you? And then you kind of have like Nana and like the vestiges, but like All for One, and then you'd actually have like this weird familial clash. If like Shigaraki was responsible for knowing that information, I think that could make it more subversive. But like, yeah,
it would be fun. I just know All for One would be the kind of guy who just he provoked the chaos. Then he takes to the side, he takes popcorn, he would eat it, and he would just laugh. That's the kind of guy that we have here. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of guy that we have here. He could have planned this, like that his two children fighting each other, one this not his really child, but in prison of himself, and the other one would never have the quirk, but has a quirk of his uncle. It's not funny to see that. Just to see a family drama like this, that's your story of your family. Like, it's funny. It's just funny to think about it. And I can see All for One pull something like this. That's just hilarious to think about it. For me, it is just funny. And I can see him really just have
Actually,
federal
a
laws
great
over it.
theory. Love it.
Wait, as a question, right? If people are so obsessed with Dad for One being canon because of quote unquote Star Wars, then who is All for One's daughter? You know, the Luke and Leia situation.
Oh yeah. At that
Who's
point, then
the daughter?
Don't think of a
Damn.
daughter.
finna ruin the Ochako shit by making no. I'm kidding.
No.
No.
Harry.
I mean,
Harry?
We know
I
her
mean-
father was her mother was the daughter
Yeah,
of the mafia, right? The
yes,
father
Yeah, but the
apparently
daughter died.
but
Yeah.
yes.
we just saw a few clothes. Could have just left his clothes in a pile.
And she
that'd be
has one more
hilarious
too.
if he was like, "Damn, my baby got a crazy quirk."
I mean, to be fair, I mean, Eri has white hair, red eyes. Shigaraki has white hair, red eyes. That's common placement for All for One users.
Yeah, but Eri was apparently like she had them very early. Shigaraki only got them.
Oh, no,
like
I know.
10 or something like that. Or
Which-
7, I don't know. But Eri had them as far as we know, always.
I think that like the white hair, red eyes thing is gonna have to come into play.
Uh-huh.
Like there has to be something narrative here that like
They could have
that we're
also
waiting
one
for that
too.
just hasn't paid off yet.
Because
I'm just
like,
wondering if the red eyes thing is like is this thing can you inherit it? Like Bakugo has red eyes, but he doesn't have the white hair. Could it be possible that he had like somebody with white hair, red eyes somewhere up the line in his ancestry,
maybe.
and he kind of got the red eyes?
The
from
second
them
user.
because-
Mhm.
Or does he just have red eyes by coincidence?
Well, so okay, wait. So me, that's kind of the issue here is that you're like, we already had the "I am your father" scene with Tenko being Nana's
Yeah.
grandson. So this is the third act, and both Act 1 and Act 2 have familial reveals. So technically, we're on track for the third one. I just would prefer if we take. I would prefer if we take the same route that The Last Jedi was trying to set up with Rey, where her parents weren't going to be of important lineage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Rise of the Skywalker was like, no.
Nah.
Let's
Was
make the
about to
lineage
ask.
important.
Let's make
I-
it important.
So I'm hoping we don't do that part of the Rise of the Skywalker where it's like, but that's why I'm like, you know what? We know Hori loves her Star Wars. If we're going to do this, can we see it based off textual stuff outside of just Star Wars? Could we see it? Can we make it work?
Yes.
I feel like if we want to go familial
What
coverage, like you mentioned, Aniki, it would have to be obviously we have the Toroki subplot, but it'd be One for All and All for One. That would be the familial coverage that we get in this act, where now we have two families fighting against each other. We have One for All and All for One.
And that's the thing about that's the thing. Like, you have just if this happens, just because All for One, he just wanted to have his story like told, like he just wanted to write a new story, you know what I mean? Because he didn't finish the Demon Lord story completely, you know what I mean? So he wanted, because he knew how he would end it, yeah, and that your hero will win at the end. But the best thing, when you can also write your own end as a writer. There's a thing about, and if he took that away, you can see, I can see him pull something like this off. That's all. All for One is the most pettiest man that I've seen in anime and manga. You know what I mean? So right now, I never see someone so petty as him, and it goes so far to make people suffer because they give him a fate. Allez, I can understand. You lose your eyesight, your hair, you're bald now. The best thing that you wanted to do is take the child of his master to make your own version of yourself. Just thinking of how far that he's gone, it shows his experience of how many years that he lived and how personal that he can take stuff sometimes, you know. So yeah, I can see that happen, but do I want to see that? We don't need that. I think so. We don't need something like this right now. But the thing that I really want to know is I want to know the father of Deku, because I don't know because he is special or not, But the fact that we know that he's there in the outside of the country working, sending money, I just want to see his face, to say, man, I respect what you did, but where were you when they needed the most? You know what I mean? When they need you to be there, where
Where
were
were
you?
you ever?
No, but he did what a man was supposed to do. He was a provider. He gave them
Yeah,
the
but he was
money.
never there. So
He
where
was
were you is
never.
still a good
Well,
question.
that's why I want to know. I want to see the father. You know what I mean? I want to see the father just because of it. Because when you think about what he provided for, that boy has and was one of the biggest collectioner of all my stuff. When you think about it, Deku, all the thing that he has, it is not easy to get, but he got it all the way is because his father was sending the money for. That's how we see it. That's how it's, and yeah, and
I don't
I
care. I
just,
will not let them a flashback.
well, yeah, I just want to know. I just want, it's my curiosity as a writer. It's and as a fan too. It's not because I like and I don't need him to be somebody from the mafia or so. I don't need that. It can be a really cool dude. You don't need that because what makes Deku special is the fact that he's a kid with some mental problems that wanted to be a hero. It's just this. That's what makes him special, and yeah, and that he didn't have a quirk. The fact that he could understand the pain of the unfortunate of not of the weakest. That's what makes him special as a
Hey,
character.
In the
What
end,
make
it
So
turns out that Deku's dad has been dead for years, and Inko just didn't have the heart to tell him. Just a thing.
that
That would
would
be
be
kind of
hilarious. That would
that
be
would be
honestly, I kind of
hilarious.
wild.
want that
That
would be
would be
wild.
that would be wild. And that will be answer the question. How did she get all the money to pay all her?
She
Even when you get if you
inherited it
get
from him. Maybe he was rich.
Life insurance policy.
Life insurance
that,
policy.
see
Maybe.
once it's literally so yeah.
But yeah. All right. So
Hmm.
I had just kind of wanted to talk about that because I've been thinking about it. And a part
Hmm.
of me was like, that could be a fun topic to do with a video, but I decided I'd rather talk to
Facts.
you guys about it,
Yeah,
see
it's
your own
good.
thoughts on the dad
Was
for one
that what you
stuff.
tried to ask us earlier?
Trying to think what earlier. Which earlier?
When Sayas and East were like talking, and you try to slip something in.
I'm trying to remember. It probably wasn't. I can't remember now though.
Fair.
That's okay. But all right, so I want to start the wrap up here. That way I still have time to do a review and stuff, and I might pop over to Shonen Ronin probably. We'll see, maybe.
Ooh, perfect.
We'll see. Just because of time wise. Final thoughts. Let's start from the top with Thomas.
I came in late, so there was a lot of this conversation I missed. But this chapter is really, really great. I love how Jiro is such a massive, like, important part of the chapter. She is the focus. Her and Hawks. Oops, I dropped my key. I love how sound is now being canon, that it is the key to the vestiges of One and One for All, where it's linked from Shinzo, how he brainwashes people and what sent Deku into the vestige world. It's how Off One communicates with his vestige self, and it's how we now have the vestiges rebelling against All for One. They now hear this cry, this plea that Jiro is setting out, which I think is really cool. Overall, I think the chapter is a 9 out of 10. I'm still waiting for Deku to come back. I hope.
What?
Okay.
Yo, who said that? Yo, Balin, we finna ban you from the church.
Okay, I'm gonna cry now. Anyway, great chapter.
Okay, I'm lost. What happened?
You give a final thoughts.
Yep. Ponzu, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Great chapter. Like I wasn't there for a few months, so but right now the last chapter that I was present to, I think it was just before the war. It was great. I love where everything is going. Love seeing the comeback of Darby again, because that light inside his chest is weird for me. and you never know what
It's Prominence Burn. You probably didn't know that, but it was confirmed Prominence Burn. The kanji or sound effects line up to when he used it at the war. But you wasn't around, so you might not have known.
So he's like, so right now he's trying to defrost himself by using Prominence Burn.
We're not sure. You know the whole raid constitution thing. We just know Dobby isn't done. That's all I can say. I don't want to interrupt you, but you wasn't around, so you know might not know.
Okay. I was listening when I think I heard about that. So yeah, the Dobby stuff. So just with Dobby stuff only, we can see that we are not safe. The story, we are not safe. The heroes are not safe right now. Everything is going smoothly, but it's not. It's in a few chapters things are gonna turn around. I think it will start with my man, the gecko guy. I forgot his name again. Spinner. Yeah, Spinner. Everything is changed with him because right now he's a giant guy. He's gonna fight against other people, and he will bring with him all this aspect of being a mutant. That's really interesting to know that. So I don't know where Horikoshi is going. Really, can't wait to see what he's cooking right now. And yeah, it was I will say an 8 on 10 today. I just want to see more, to see my man, all for one, trash talking some people, kill them, being a top performer on the floor. We want to see that. That's all for me. Love y'all.
All right, let's go with Sayez. Final thoughts.
All right, then let's start at the top and the best part of the chapter, obviously, which is the first page. No, I really like the first page because it's I like Endeavor lamenting all the mistakes he made, but it also feels like he's getting some resolve, which makes me hope that if we stay with this fight, we're going to get Endeavor versus All for One proper with the next chapter. But I also the little tidbits of Shoto and Toya getting remembered here. I don't know, the way they look face to face, and there I have to agree with Panzu that I think Panzu was saying that. Thomas too, I think, that they're going to fight again. Somehow them just looking the way and what Endeavor thinks about Shoto are hanging in there. Toya, I hope you're both. It sounds like we're not done with this. I mean, of course, this is Endeavor's inner thoughts, so what does he know? But I really hope that this means that this story is not told yet and that Endeavor is going to go back to the fight soon. So let's start with the actual chapter with the rest of it. I really liked it. I'm a big fan of Jiro. I always like seeing her. I always think we see way too little of her and she gets way too little chance to shine. So I'm really surprised, but in a positive way, that she not just was in the chapter, but actually did something important in this chapter. And maybe we can actually make use of this little tidbit of information that we learned with the Vestiges fighting back. I don't think the heroes understand quite what happened there, but they must have seen. They obviously saw that something made All for One stop in his counterattack. So I'm looking forward to if they can use this in the future somehow. I heard a lot of hate on Twitter and stuff about her line with my problem is that you're the one who made my pals cry. It's a bit cheesy, and I agree it's a bit cheesy, but I don't hate it. I mean, she's a kid. Makes sense that this would be her first priority. Her friends. She doesn't really know him. Like Jiro has never met All for One before, so it makes sense that she would focus on what little she knows about him. I did like All for One calling their quirks essentially useless. I do hope, though, that in whatever is going to happen, I think Jiro she's not out of the fight, but she is definitely not the strongest anymore. I think Hawk seems to be back to I think he's not useless. I don't think he's out of the fight, but he's with his main feathers cut or broken. It seems like he's back to just being support. Like I think he's still able. He still has probably enough feathers to make others fly around him and to maneuver himself around the air. But I don't think he can actually attack anymore. So he has no attacking power. So he's probably back to the supporting role, which would be well if Endeavor comes back. But if not, that would be troublesome because I don't think Tokoyami can do it on his own. I do hope, however, we're gonna see more about Tokoyami because he's been pretty quiet in this chapter. Like it's been very much a lot of Hawks, a lot of Jiro. Tokoyami has been there, but he hasn't really done anything other than flying around. So I'm hoping we see more of him. Overall, good chapter. I don't know, 8 out of 10, probably. Yeah.
All right, Deacon Fish.
You know, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start this. I am a shit talker and a chaos merchant, and Jiro, Endeavor, Hawks, Tokoyami, you are all on pack watch until further notice. So I'll be watching very closely. And I mean, I said this before last stream or one of the last times we were talking. Aoyama, I'm excited to see what he's doing. I want to get back to his fight, him and Fat Gum, and see Kunaida. And I'm also excited to see Ghastly at some point. But, you know, this chapter, it was cool. I'm seeing what AFO is going to do. I don't think he goes down here. We all going to have to sit around and see what happens. But AFO is not going down to these niggas right here. I promise you. Shigaraki's about to put AFO in a pack. But we'll see. So I'm enjoying the war so far. I'm excited to see even more matchups and more stuff we don't even know is going to happen. Like Horikoshi just, man, I'm not even going to get into it, bro. Horikoshi, he's doing his thing, bro. I'm not here for the hate. This is the best war we're getting right now. In Shonen, should I say.
So, you know what? No, I'm not gonna let that shade be subtle because I want to ask both you, actually, you two, Ponzu.
Yeah.
How'd y'all feel about One Piece 1051 real quick?
Okay, I'm good. I didn't.
Oh, I
didn't
have
read
more
it.
thought. I have more thought about it. I saw it coming.
Okay.
I didn't read it. I just gonna read right now if you want.
Okay.
Bro, the bar is in hell. I'm gonna say this. You give a character a new design and everyone, oh yeah, oh, this is the best. Oh yeah, he's
Goated.
Goated. Oh my god.
There's a reason why I coined the term "go to gobblers."
Is that because of the
Yep.
I hate this. Some niggas should have been dead, man. That's not normal. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that was the general consensus.
Talk about Black Clover chapter.
All right. East, take us home.
East, take us home.
Y'all funny, man. So it's about time, right?
Yeah, wrap it up.
All right, let's get it. Woo, man, oh man, oh man. Now I told you niggas this shit wasn't gonna be easy, Playboy. Y'all worried and stressed out. Jared pulled up. What's she supposed to do? Listen, she talked her shit, she ran her shit, and she did her shit. Even after getting fucking maimed and losing one of her ears, her main shouts. By the way, that shit is not coming back. Niggas don't lose body parts and they don't come back. I know y'all be capping on General Hospital making jokes, but nigga, ain't nobody come back out that bitch with a new body with the same body part they lost. Her ear not coming back. Don't try it. Don't want to hear it. It's not coming back. Don't be like, oh, no. Shit gone, not coming back. Her power is in half. She need to go ahead and sit out. She's not gonna be blowing them ear beat walls like she did before. She did her due justice. Now it's time to go ahead and sit back because off one for to turn up the fucking heat on all these niggas for real. He was there playing before. He wasn't stupid serious, all right? He finna turn up the heat and crank out on these niggas for real. He's not even using the same abilities he was at the beginning of the battle when he faced Endeavor enough. Nigga already used like 15 different quirks. Low key over the course of everything we've been seeing. The same shit, Moonstar shit he was shooting at Endeavor, combined with that spiral drill monster hand shit. Then this fucking layout he was using against Hawks and Jiro and Tokyo. Like, nigga keep switching up. You think he don't have another form? And if you think that his nigga ain't got a fucking legit backup plan for his mask being cracked after he knew they was trying to come at his head, If you think he don't have a backup plan on all people, he's from Tubi villain, you're really drunk and you really need to read the series. You really must not know who you are or who he is. Like, really, you need to get your shit together for real, because y'all slump. That boy Angie looking mad mighty. Oof, good lord, man. But it's just funny because, like I said, all these beginning points is just going to lead to a crazy ass climax that nobody's going to really fucking see coming when shit starts crossing paths and intersecting how horrorcore you wanted to. Because Dobby, like I said, reason Dobby fell makes sense now right here, especially since he's getting comeback confirmed. Dobby fell at first just on Deverick getting his headspace going crazy right now. And then for off one talk shit, knocking Dever out the fight for a split second. He on ice right now. He on the bench. Now Jiro got her time. Time for her to go sit back up on the bench. She ran her course. And it's just like how Taya said, Tokiyami didn't say much this chapter. That was kind of the point to the thing. It was like, all right, Jiro got her time to shine. Now she go sit on the back foot. She lost her shit. Tokiyami comes. It's all about switching and flowing. Everybody get their time to shine. It's just how he writes. If you pay attention, it was like, oh, it's a flow, ebb and flow of everything, how it goes. That's the benefit of doing this shit. So like, it's nice. I wanted heavy hitters too, but you know what? I'll take this too, because it's like, where are we gonna fit the kids at, this and the other? It's like you can't get everything and everybody, bro. It's like, I know you want to see some heavy hitters, or this is what we thought would have seen, but y'all gonna have to pick and choose what y'all want. Yeah, I want the kids to get something, or the pro heroes on the side that y'all don't really care about. You just want rawness. Because at the end of the day, the story's all about themes, hearts, and niggas you seen grow, right? I wanted rawness too, but I just go to other series when I just want fucking blood and hands. So be happy that we getting what we getting with certain characters, because it's what y'all wanted, right? I appreciate where we're getting it from. All for one, definitely not fucking falling to these niggas though. Shout out to them for putting in their work, especially like I said, credit where credit is due. I hate that bitch ass bird, but damn, that motherfucker so cool and putting legit work, saving niggas asses, and that final panel is fucking. That shit so goddamn clean, bro. I swear to God, that shit is, especially the officials. That shit so goddamn immaculate. It make no goddamn sense. I still can't wait to see that nigga die though, but that's besides the point. I can't wait to see how this pans out from here, and all from really get serious and switch up his battle kit again. If this is a start of how the kids really get brutified, oh baby, I can't wait to see how this shit gonna look by the time we get to Kunita and Ghastly and other convicts again, especially Gas Mask God. I still got Ayama and Kirishima on pack watch, dead ass for real. Nobody bleed behind me. Come on now, son. Ayama, the beast in the bats, and then he got an ops on his head. Come on now, son. This shit gonna be goated. I can't wait to see what the future brings us. I appreciate everybody for coming through once again, man. Lovely time discussing this shit. Fuck that for one. On God, on my mama, I hate that nigga. But for real, appreciate y'all for coming. You know, it's a beautiful time again. Don't stress out with investor shit, because it'll get fleshed out once again. And I bet you $5 real quick that's gonna come back into play later on with Shigaraki too. So always prepare and look at the seeds being sown. Once again, this is the end. I'm undefeated at the East, baby. And we appreciate y'all for coming to the church. Hail Hori, you heard?
All right, y'all. As always, I appreciate everybody that came through. We don't have an MHA chapter next week, which means no church stream.
Hey. Wait. Damn, Thomas is like that? Okay, bro.
I'm like sad. No, I was sad.
It's okay, because I'm busy next weekend, but we'll see. I might be able to swing something special for you guys. No promises, but I'm going to try to get you guys a review out by the end of today. And just kind of enjoy the chapter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're somebody who's watching the VOD and you managed to listen to the entirety, congratulations. I'm very proud of you. See you guys at most in like 2 weeks. Hopefully I can drop you a little something extra in the meantime to keep you happy, maybe give you some of the old MHA topics. Who knows? Maybe I'll sit around and talk about All for One a bit, because I do think I might want to sit around and give him his proper due diligence. I feel like as a villain, he doesn't quite get the credit he deserves, especially as far as how well he's actually been written. So we'll see about that. Y'all